depend on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of itch and toss, and lose and start again in your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count on you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiven minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth, and everything in it, and, which is more, you will be a man, my son.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant, leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission.
completely unknown to me.
Exactly.
And you know, back in QBF, Quantum Bellator Fire, when it was still active, etc. I had the pleasure of casting them. But overall, yeah, Navi Junior. I mean, we saw them, I believe, last week, if I'm not completely wrong on that part, and I think it was last week. Help me out here. No, it
Navi
wasn't last
Junior,
week.
brother. What do you want to know? Tell me. You just hit me with it, and I'm telling you.
I want to
Come
know
on.
their best maps.
Their best
what are
maps?
their go-to
no
maps?
problem. So regarding the statistics we have, obviously, we have to take a look at the sample size. If you play one map and win it once, it's not really a representative sample size at all, and it messes with you. So what we could possibly look at is obviously Vertigo for 6 times played in the last 3 months, a success rate of 67%. Then obviously Inferno, which is a crazy pick from LvLup because Navi Junior have 59% win rate on it. It's okay convincing, right? But they have played it 17 times. And that's, for me, a quiet, solid
That makes
state.
it convincing.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. And as we take a look at the veto, what do we get up for us here over?
Well, since you did say about Inferno that they have a pretty damn good standing on it, we should expect it. LvLup actually to pick it. That is perhaps a bit of a surprise, is it not? You know, you would expect that it would be LvLup to try to rid of the best map for Navi Junior, and then Vertigo is the second, which is, you know, even more mind blown, and then Train as the third. And you know, I took the liberty of opening excited. Up. Dude, Train is like the third and final map with 100% win ratio for Navi. And yes, you said it well. Sample size has to be applied here. Only 3 maps. It's not exactly something you can say, oh, they're perfect on it. Not by a long shot. But certainly at least give them that extra little bit of nudge in the right direction.
Sure. Inferno especially is going to be interesting due to the fact that they have recently have a bit, you know, you can see how dominant a team is by total rounds played and total rounds won. And from 482 rounds played, they have only won 257, which is definitely then telling you that there's a bit of a problem in really closing out games. The victories they have picked up was against Espada, against Heart Legion, so CIS teams, definitely a little easier for them. Funny-wise, they pick up losses against Big Academy, against Crazy, against Simon, in a very, very tight and close manner. So usually they can perform quite well in it. Usually they don't make it that easy for them. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. LvLup, on the other hand, we can't leave them out of the equation right here. It was yesterday where you watched them, right?
Yes.
Inferno was fun, but the rest was an absolute disaster.
Inferno, I mean, Inferno was the best possible outtake we could have seen out of LvLup. You know, it was a 13-2 half that they were able to give us a show on, and then both pistols and everything just closed it out like a banger. But as you said, the rest, a disaster.
Absolutely.
And even then, a disaster is an understatement as to how poor Train went. Train was the last. Yes, Train was the last. So again, it does kind of paint a picture of what is potentially going to happen here. Navi Junior, as you already said, they're coming out from a very, very enclosed space in terms of how well picked these players are out to perform. And I have no doubt in my mind that they will be absolutely ready for LvLup. I would have expected them to even do their homework and a little bit of research. And this is the 0-1 result of the Swiss stage. So in this case, one of these 2 teams will have to take the L next time playing for elimination, meaning that, you know, there's some serious stakes at play now from this point forward. You know, if you lose and you're put into that 0-2 bracket, all of a sudden you have no more second chances. You know, you have no more repeat chances. Yeah,
it's a very, very good point you're having here for yourself. That's a crucial aspect to point out, especially when we talk about the players, right? When we talk about quickly, because I think Navi Junior is the more fun team to watch by the potential they have. They have 3 players over a rating of 1.1. They have young guns such as Ankara, which you might know, all right, but then they're 19, 20 years old. They're just freshly coming from Face It basically to this lineup, and it's amazing to watch what this project will deliver in the long end, because you always have to ask yourself, right, why would Navi do this? They're not doing it for the good cause. I can only imagine they have really strict contracts, and if everyone wants to buy them out, there's a good little sum they have to pay for Navi for this being profitable. I mean, that's the only logical reason why they would do it.
I mean, I don't want to go into the bureaucracy of it. I will say there's a genuine soul in somebody in Navi that wanted to build a junior squad that gives them, that expands the scene. That's my reasoning behind it. But I know that's wrong.
It's the best
I know
of
that's
both.
not.
It's the best of both.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds, I guess. Yeah. And hopefully that's the primary reason, primary driving force behind the squad.
Absolutely.
Because the more emotions and the more you are committed to it on a personal level, the higher the chance the team succeeds in its general sense. And well, right now it is going to be the pistol round, ladies and gents. Let's jump straight into it. Navi Junior starting as the CTs, and they'll be taking a very aggressive stance towards B. Fallen Flash being ready by Gaspadarov. The rest playing aggressively, both towards top mid and towards Banana.
Yeah, we saw Navi Senior play in the form of Edward earlier. Now we see Navi Junior try to perform, and the CTs definitely take a good bit of aggression right here on Banana. Nobody knows about Gaspadarov, though, as he remains a little sneaky inside. Len finds the first. Oh, the second is desperately needed, but that ain't it. And the B side fairly open. The rotation, though, comes in time.
Rotation will come out in time. Let's find out if indeed will it be effective, though. The kid has been lost on Banana, so they will have that chance to retrieve it if in case it will be much needed. Although Impulse and Dimka, the two deadly duet, you cannot really count out ever. Although Bit will find one. Impulse standing still in second box, not exactly optimal. Dimka,
He plays it smart.
a one-on-one.
And makes it work. Takes a bit more of it. This was a fascinating move here because you saw Bit taking more and more of an angle where LvLup had to, where Dimka had to expose himself more and more and more. And by his entire body shown and not this annoying wiggling going on, you could easily grab the frag by 100% knowing where he is anyway. 1-0 for Navi Junior. A little tight towards Banana at the beginning. Yet again, an absolutely wonderful retake scenario. You have to say this is where I really like the coordination in that squad.
Likewise. They approached this as well as one could under the circumstances, and we can see currently Navi Junior. They won't be overly phased by by being downed into a one-on-one. MP9's coming out, a FAMAS for Capacho, on care with the M4, and the 4 stars that we are seeing is Topa. Now I'm not sure why there are 4 stars on him, but maybe his name automatically.
He's going for the 4 majors already.
Hey, I mean, you said it well. It is Edward that played earlier, so maybe Edward will be supporting them here in this instance, and he's a major winner and all. So
is he?
Definitely something to go about.
Let's ask Aurelia because I'm not so sure about that. In the meantime, they seemingly can rule out B quite well, which should give them a good opportunity to have a read on what LvLup is doing. Slow take towards A to try to approach with the first smoke landing and denying the long player a good bunch of access. Whilst the nade hardly does any damage, the rotation is not that immediate. Because look what Navi Junior does. I very much enjoy that. The matter of fact that they don't push through Banana and really wait this out on pure information play. Topa now knows, but now he's a little trapped, except... Oh, the flashbang over. That could be it. Swings wide.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't find anything though.
The flash was a little bit too high by the looks of it, and Topa was not able to properly, or Capacho was not able to properly blind the players coming in through Banana. Impulse finds the second, and that should be it. The retake no longer possible. Navi Junior, they're locked out of place, and they realize that themselves, gonna go for the save. By the way, I said that he won the major. Actually, he did not.
Right.
They were second in London. They did win Cologne, but that's not the major,
I just wanted to say, I would be
although...
very surprised if they would have won the London major, or any major, because I can't recall that they won one.
Yeah, because Simple hasn't won a major yet, so
Ever
we know the
since,
meme.
right.
Yeah, so yeah, my bad. I do count Cologne as a major. In my eyes, it's always going to be a major.
Yeah.
Like Cologne, come on, man. It's or Katowice. It's like
Basically, NBK has won more majors than Simple.
You say it like, oh man.
That's true. I'm not lying.
More majors than Simple. Yes.
I'm not lying.
It sounds so dirty when you put it like that. But it's true. It's true. It's true. Well, this year no majors though, so there's that. I think there's going to be no major, right? Did they confirm that the major has been postponed until next year?
Oh crap! You're asking.
Never mind.
I should know that.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I recall information about potentially it being postponed, but
I'm offline. Date is in November, so it should hypothetically happen. But I don't know if
Okay.
don't get me wrong. I just don't know if, from what we have seen recently, Brazil is the right place to do it.
yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
COVID
given
numbers.
exactly. Well, exactly what's happening as well is the fact that the force buy from NAVI Junior, or at least the reinvestment in the round, is finding them quite a little bit of
Double
success.
night was. You saw that happen after the night access. For him missing though, and over now it's getting a little tricky here for poor Bit.
Well, he's gonna mine a few bits and he's gonna be fine. Let's see if the MP9 is strong enough to hold on the attack for the next few seconds. Impulse, the only one full HP, one bullet, he's gonna be gone.
No. There he
Never
goes.
mind.
That's it. No, it isn't. Taking that one back. D should not stand a chance though. If he gets the bomb down, this is free money. And they gotta be careful about it for sure. D is really playing this one as smart as possible. Hopes to not be caught by one of those smokes. He made this jump point, so that
Hold
could
on.
become a problem. Oh, don't let it happen. Oh,
Close call. Very close call by D. Almost. You know, it got a little bit scary in that. How do you say? In that moment.
absolutely.
I was concerned about how Bid decided to take the challenge, but he still got rid of Impulse, and that pretty much solidified the round, regardless of how good Dimka might be. And still, we could see how close it got, even with Dimka low HP. Or, excuse me, D. Apologies, not Dimka. D. Interesting.
I'm really surprised on how they nearly let that one slip. Very honestly, speaking about that. Either way, I'm genuinely happy the way it went here for NAVI Junior. They've done a good job on it. I think our HUD is a little bit mixed up. Don't be surprised.
I don't know.
Wait. Is my brain lagging out?
Might be. I don't know. It does look like we are going towards
Yeah, there you go.
the B side with LvLup. Yeah,
For a
it's
second, I
all
was,
good now.
Did my brain really just think that NAVI Junior won the round? I was so convinced by myself, but thank you for.
Hey man, it
Thank you
happens.
for having
It
my back
happens
here,
to the
Omar.
best of us. Hey man, it happens. It's all good. What happens? Well, what has happened here is also LvLup setting up a B take. Pop flash over top up.
Staying.
Can't really do much. Maybe. Nah.
Such a nice try from him. It was a little bit too much he wanted. Still, they got in a man equalized scenario. Up a little bit than in the end, as Anker fails the duel as well. Might be time to retreat for NAVI Junior. I mean, he has a UMP 45. It seems like he definitely tries that the explosion radius might just blast the AWP backwards, and he could get it.
It's possible.
That could be the deal.
If that's the case, that's a pretty good outtake. Although double up AVN had retrieved it, so it's gonna be a bit harder to get.
Maybe a
that up.
rifle, possibly.
Yeah, a rifle would work. Yeah, I guess. Although if all three exit CT
Yeah, they
and
do.
if the bomb blast damages at least one or two a little bit, there goes the one.
That's good damage dealt, though. That's good damage dealt. Because this brings them down to only 2 players, not the majority that can come through. Otherwise, it could have built himself a quite nice buffer of money. But take a look at it right now. There's a big difference between surviving 2 and 3 players. Minority and majority. Surprise, surprise. If you didn't pay attention to maths, 3 is bigger than 2.
I don't know where you were headed with that one, but yeah, I guess they do pay a high price for the loss of those 3 players. That's for certain. And Bit, he can do some serious damage again. Dimka
There
free
it
fire
goes.
is not really going to be too successful. Still, as we see, one single frag here for Bit is already a good start. The pistols might have some luck, a stroke of luck, as one would call it. Perhaps can do a little bit more. Double nade though, and the cleanup crew is here.
Cleanup crew is here. No big problem at that point in time. 2 to 3. As LvLup is about to probably head onto this. NAVI Jr. just quickly diving in here from a statistical basis. When it comes to this wonderful map, it comes to Inferno, it's a story that has to be told in that sense, that from their point of view, they might have a high win rate on it. Alternatively to that, they are just slightly more T-sided. So we might be having a little change once things swap. In the meantime, AVN down to 10 points of health.
AVN, not exactly the best of starts, and you know, we can say the Deagles can present to be a problem. It wouldn't be the first time LvLup handled this with a bit of careless passion going into it, and LvLup. They need to be very careful what they do. There will be a little bit of presence towards top, immediately ready for this. As D walks in on contact, a player through the smoke, Capacho at pace. Standing still against D's Mech 10.
Yeah.
Well, good luck next time for LvLup, if I understood you correctly.
But now the buy is back on its feet. Actually, I'd like to know if we can take a look at the scoreboard real quick. With the good old tab, if that is possible. Have we ever seen scoreboards? Or... Good question, actually, is.
Just kind of, you know, as a part.
Poor Bit needs to see what he can open down. Oh, fits the first, but not much more damage dealt to them. A-side immediately lost. Now reconsider if you really want to go for that, because that one seems denied, and the 5th is on the board. Quite easy job for the side of LvLup in this case.
I'm a little bit surprised. NAVI Jr. is playing a little bit and looking like they want to take banana control, but their delay in general, you know, obviously, and what LvLup had prepared to take it up with in the round, NAVI Jr., their response was very, very poor. And I mean, again, Bit only getting a single, actually not even getting a single frag, apologies. He's having a bit of a slower start to begin with. On here getting his first on the board, likewise. It obviously didn't help out the rest of NAVI Jr. at all. The attempt of a retake never even coming through. 5-2 though. This is a perfect start for LvLup. They begin with a bang, and every time you see LvLup start off this good, you know they're going to be performing out of their minds. And there's obviously the tilt factor we like to mention a lot of times. Yesterday it was quite evident that it is affecting their game performance, their style, but tonight with the beginning like this, it brings about a bit of a different LvLup. The LvLup we wanted to see yesterday on Inferno. We got to see it on Inferno, but never had it on either Vertigo or Train.
Yeah, good point. Oh, and I mean, it's getting a bit difficult now. Order side of Navi Jr. if they can't adapt to the A aggression that continuously is being delivered. Here comes the first conquer and his teammate. My god, that is a shutdown by the book, not a single casualty. And
Damn.
ABN is like, yeah, I'm out of here. Screw that. I'm not participating.
Well, the poor guy doesn't really have a choice, unfortunately. Could have ran out of apps, could have ran out of balcony or a boiler and tried to do something, but he probably would have ended up like his teammates, like his friends there, and the end would be there already. So ABN, then in the end still ends up the same. Doesn't get the frag, doesn't get anything done. Third round on the board for NAVI Junior, of course. Of course. If there were simple in here, we might as well call this NAVI, right? But in any case, obviously LvLup, enough money to get themselves back on the board. The op on Impulse going to be important. Interesting that we do see Impulse on the op, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We did see more D, I believe, if I'm not wrong on that part, or was it Dimke? I start to confuse between the two. I believe it was D that was opping primarily the last time we saw them a few times, and Impulse seems to be back on track with that. I kind of like it, you know. He was considered one of the best Balkan operators of his time about a year ago, maybe a year and a half.
Wasn't it also Jazar considered to be one of the strongest ops in that region?
Well, he is not technically from the... I mean, he is Serbian, half Swede, but he is not, you know, his nationality is Swedish per as far as I understand it. Now, I might be doing him injustice, unless he lives in Serbia, Bosnia, or Croatia, or Slovenia, or somewhere. I don't think he counts for that part.
Good part, yeah, no,
because then we could, you know,
I agree.
Cressy and everybody, you know, I don't know.
No, you got a very, very good point there. I think he used to play, though, in some of those teams. Either way, not too relevant. LvLup is right now going very slow here over the B side, copying what he had in the previous game. All the utilities thrown nice. Capacho says, I didn't know fire can break the laws of physics. And therefore he's up on it. And they shouldn't necessarily expect him to stand there. Should that be the case? Unlucky for him, being flashed.
Yeah, gonna be trodden a little bit. Top bar.
Make that one work. And Bit is a little too eager in it.
Although he at least gets one. It enables Onkar and Gospodarov to make this comeback possible. They have a kid going. They have the op on Gospodarov. Let's see if they pull it off. By the way, just to mention, he was in Valiance, Jazar. So I guess you could count.
Kind of, right?
Yeah, kind of. It's hard to say exactly. But leaving Jazar behind, D and Dimke. Let's see if the double D here can pull it off. Can they save the day here for LvLup and bring them up to 6? Or to double down? And yes, Dimke finds one. That's it. Gospodarov, no chance. He now goes for this retake. Time is already nigh, and he's already out of it.
And there we go. Three to 6 and LvLup actually taking the lead in this. It's annoying.
Definitely. They're enjoying themselves. You can see that, yeah, sure, they have a few troubles here and there, but they are definitely enjoying themselves quite a little bit. And we did discuss this yesterday, right, at length, how a good start for LvLup will bring out the best in them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very good point you're having. And what I liked about Navi Junior so far, they seem fairly composed in the sense that they can deal with such situations. Overall, it's still a team that I personally admire for their capability of playing. As we're talking about it, that's denial for LvLup there over. There right now might possibly take the mid control over on A, but how much can he actually do with that?
We're about to find out. Molly into Bit. This execution is more of a take. Might be successful. They get rid of Bit. They do. Onkar as well. Falls like a bag of bricks. And Gospodarov, Kapacha on top of this retake is going to be very hard to achieve, especially with having low HP on Gospodarov, they'll need to time themselves to perfection. Smoke into deep, towards pit. And here comes the attempt. Molly into default. Here it begins.
Yeah, here it begins, and the very pit-heavy focus right now has become a problem. Short player being suspected. There still falls one. And Gospodarov, with 12 points of health, might just rather consider to take retreat as an option, as he does. NAVI Junior seems to lack in the defense from time to time, where they don't really have an idea how to hold down a site like that. So right as it is, 7 front for level up, far away from 6 rock.
It's a little bit concerning, you know, when you see Bit on balcony and on care holding the side cross, and then they both literally die in the same second. You would expect more out of them. You would expect at least to be able to get 1 or 2 frags minimum. Yet denied on all accounts. It's just a little bit disappointing, I guess. 3v5 that it was, turning into a proper after plant with, you know, a single player loss. Furthermore, LvLup seem to be taking control, and the risk is outweighing the, well, the reward is outweighing the risk, excuse me. We'll be seeing a bit more presence towards Absolute. NAVI Junior starting to take precedence towards that themselves. Oh, good pop flash again. Impulse with the fallen.
It really seems like they found their home soil with this one LvLup. It's actually wonderful to watch them. NAVI Junior still didn't find the antidote to this. And once more, the consideration of LvLup turn into an execute. It's definitely going to be the B side, except they swap it up last second. They don't. Everybody of NAVI is now waiting for that Anchor with a perfect support flash, and everything smoked. Everything is right now gone in the shadows. As AVN has a problem to take a bit more room. Once the smoke fades, possibly works. Gospodarov falls. Big storm behind with a double. Yes, it is. And that means AVN stands alone on side here. 1 AK to make it work.
On AK, unfortunately, a little bit too little of HP, as a Bit swings out wide with the MP9. He takes the risk and pays it off with extra dividends. That is going to be a safe, a safety valve by Bit, that he's able to pull it off like that. Good heading in their current stance. I like this. NAVI finally realizing what's up.
NAVI finally realized, dude, what's up. That's a very, very early rotation. They really have found out about the case how LvLup takes a banana control with that early utility, and there's no sign of life from them. Okay, I think we should focus on A site, and this might work quite well with a very restricted buy-up from LvLup. The weaponry is not working as intended, or if they find a close range tools, they might do so. But I think it's the first one to deny the access, as in the meantime, Anchor just plays around that smoke, stays hidden, and might just take a height advantage. Look at that NAVI Junior setup. Patient and not greedy at all.
Absolutely. Sharani a little bit too far to the right, but still wouldn't have hit Oncare anyway. Oh, he spots him in towards Graveyard. Though the challenge Impulse will take it as he spots him likewise. Capacho, the reply is imminent though, the FAMAS enough. And then still, Dimke comes in hot, one-on-one against, of course, Gospodarov. The AWP in his hands, gonna be a dangerous weapon to handle, though not impossible to deal with. No! Oh, wowzers. Whew.
I really love what NAVI has done with that slow setup. It's tiny bit of mistakes that are happening. That's all fine and dandy, but I'm enjoying them. I'm really enjoying to watch them in that kind of setup they have for themselves.
Oh, absolutely. They are certainly starting to realize how they have to go up against LvLup here and make sure they don't allow too many 1v1s to happen, because the chances are you will lose that aim duel. Above all else, though, they seem to be realizing, as you said as well, how banana control is being relinquished, and they can afford to rotate over their players towards A to make sure that the defense holds up to snuff. Though, we got to give it to LvLup. They're playing a very good game of CS. They are perhaps a little bit slow in taking the sites once they commit to them. Once they already basically have told their opponent, we're going for this no matter what. They take their time, that's certain, and sometimes it's coming back to bite them in the buttocks. Let's find out if that's going to be the case here again. In comes a full-on take. It's pistols and Kevlar. It's a full investment, of course. Capacho with the first. Into ruins. Already been read. Shadani will be caught. That should be the end of the road here for this round.
That's a little bit of a massacre and a little bit of a chaos that has established itself on the B side, but easily resolved. LvLup, you see it right there on the top. They really had a good streak of 4 rounds going on, but they continuously now have been interrupted in their setup. It doesn't work continuously, does it? And this is very enjoyable to see that adaptation coming in from their side. NAVI Junior overall, I think I said it in the beginning of this year, some very hot stuff. It's really a team where I will always want to keep my eyes peeled. Love to watch them, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. It definitely is an enjoyable game of CS they're giving us, and they do have perhaps, as you said yourself, a few mistakes here and there that they pull on off, but majorly they play a very cool game of CS. They don't allow themselves to be driven by emotion, if that makes sense. They don't allow for perhaps judgment to be clouded by certain aspects of the game that do get a lot of players. And we can see in this case, this double setup on long will prove to be worthwhile if they're able to block off the cross at least while longer. On care at the tag, the kill with the tag by Gospodarov, and a bit wide, sure. Shadani is able to get one out of it.
It's still a danger still. AVN trying to take a bit more control over there along, especially picking up the AWP, as a short player might just come in all alone. The mid guy, but there it is. Quickly translating what Over tried to say, NAVI Junior does not let emotions run over to let them actually dictate their playstyle. I think that is what you're trying to say in 5 seconds.
Basically, yes. Thank you for being a bit more concise than me.
Okay, I knew you were looking for exactly that. I mean, I felt that you were trying to say that.
Words are hard, man. Speaking of hard, NAVI Junior are playing hard to get right now. Oh,
okay. That's a big risk, but that's opening the B side quite massively. Had the extinguisher already ready for himself, but takes a bit of more from a wide angle and asks for support in the form of Bit, who, by the way, would have a flashbang ready for that. Waiting for that one. That won't work. Here comes the first, but it's time to retreat. He knows and blocks the vision. That is a good bit of denial coming in first, and this gives NAVI a good bit of room to breathe.
A little bit, yes, though the thing is, they have to make the right call, and in this case, usually what you see the CTs do is stick together for a retake or for a hold, and then gamble everything on top of that. Smoke into CT, and this, this is just a fake right now. LvLup want to see the reaction out of NAVI Junior. Here comes the real execution. They have a second smoke ready for CT, so it's not going to be a problem. Molly into triple, as is per standard, and Bit, he needs to hold the line. This is it. He needs to survive at least a while longer. He finds both. That's perfect. One-on-one allowed to happen here as Gospodarov now comes in from A side. Let's see the clutch.
Well, let's see if the clutch is coming in from him. The man with the orb and the magic stick in his hands now got to do some magic tricks. Time to pull the rabbit out of the hat and say abracadabra against Impulse, as this man could just become the victim of the CIS orb. As the deagle is in his hands. But can't do much. Right swing, right time. Impulse find the D8 for NAVI Junior.
I gotta be honest, I did not expect LvLup to be able to pull up a half like such. Though On the other hand, it is amongst their better maps, and yesterday they displayed an excellent show of performance against Aves. So in a way, NAVI Junior can be perhaps a little bit happy that they didn't lose this 12-3 or 13-2. In any case, we can see right now the Esports Bible. They have a giveaway. The help me out here.
Main gear.
The main gear PC. Yeah.
Well,
so
that's the main game PC. You also can win some amazing prizes worth billions for season 3 and 4. By guessing the right action. In the meantime, we're guessing the right action into our middle, as that punishment is coming immediately, and Capacho is be like, "Hey man, I think I want you to run a dodge that mid peak." And he's like, "Yeah, fine, I'm joining that." A quick look at the chat, by the way, told me that we have been overrun by the CIS community. You're very welcome.
Ah, classic.
I don't understand a single word, not a single letter, and I'm not quite sure if AVN understood what was happening to him here. Capacho, full awareness on it. That ace high plant is immediate.
D is coming in hot. He's got the kit in the smoke, so it's definitely time on his side for the moment. He will have a chance to pull it off. So, through the smoke, missing his chance. Unfortunately, Bit, with his back turned to him, not going to be taken out. And that was the chance that for, of course, in this case, our dear Serbian player was not taken. Bit, we can see here another replay of that double that he's able to pull off, holding off the B site and allowing Gospodarov at least have a chance of securing the 1v1 and the potential 8-7 to NAVI Junior. Of course, that never happened in any case, as the pistol is gone. NAVI Junior equalizing the score. I like this approach. Taking it easy, taking it slow.
Quick words about Bit. The man absolutely on fire on this game. Overall, rocks it with a 1.17 rating, a cast rating of 72.7%. An average damage per round of 80 definitely proves that this 17-year-old Valery Vakoshevsky is worth his money. It's, by the way, Vakovsky. Pardon that. I'm very sorry, Valery. Didn't mean to.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I'm just trying to correct myself on that because nobody wants horribly pronounced names.
Let's see if Impulse can perhaps make that B attempt by NAVI Junior a bit more painful. His deagle in the past has been quite immaculate. And perhaps once again, he's going to be able to prove that. Smoke is not deep enough, and he will take a few hot shots. Sharani, good start. The flash actually blinding Toppa. Excuse me, on care as the flash from Toppa flies over.
It's too late though.
Yeah.
That's denial of the access, and that means another round coming their way of NAVI Junior.
One little thing that I would perhaps love for NAVI Junior to change out a bit is when they do go for this close of a push through the smoke, or when there's counter smokes deployed and, you know, they want to push over, just flash over the roof, folks. And I'm not talking flashing over the roof here on towards the right side apps building, but rather the roof that when you run into Banana from the T side, that is right in front of you. So if Capacho would turn here for a second, give me that chance to just kind of showcase where, basically the roof over CT, if you get me, where then you can run on the edge of the building, enter to the site, while CT and site itself are fully flashed, and you are safe and sound to enter without being blinded yourself as the T. So a little bit of a trick that, well, it's not even a trick, it's a fairly common thing to do. I'm just surprised NAVI didn't do it, is what I'm saying.
Brother, I think we need you on the server. Explain.
I would love to be on the server, trust me there. But it's all Gucci. It's 9-8, level up, full eco. Speaking of full eco, a few Kevlars that were saved up.
And as you see there,
okay.
It's AVN. The man is fully on fire in the wrong way. Suddenly, he's that aggressive. by the book. I think not much to say right here. NAVI Junior taking the 10th round right now. By the way, if you're wondering, next map would be Vertigo. Something LvLup seemingly hates. I put it that way. They're absolutely not satisfied with that. Whilst NAVI have really made a little special item for themselves. Put it that way.
Special item? I mean, I guess. This replay, of course, showcasing how Shadani is able to get away with a few. But let's find out the gun round. This is it. This is going to be a good test of mettle for LvLup. They will need to focus on controlling, of course, Banana. We can currently see 3 players there from, excuse me, 2 players there from NAVI Junior, and the 3rd from LvLup actually pushing back towards A, taking a bit of a wider approach. Looking at this from a tactical standpoint, LvLup early on contending, but keeping a reasonable proximity, so NAVI Junior don't get too comfortable.
Well, over. Time will tell, doesn't it? And I think there was a missed nade back on, on Boiler, if I saw it correctly. Happens to the best, as we all know. Either way. Hunker with a very high ground, trying to clear out whatever could come towards him. Is that a triple man boost?
No. It's just a 2-man.
Well,
I don't think
was
it's
it on
actually...
the sandbags?
Yes, it was on the sandbags. Yeah.
There.
I actually, good question. Is it even possible to put 3 there? I dare say no because of the skybox, but be a nice little thing to test. I'm definitely testing that on my next server bracket. That much is guaranteed.
In the meantime, let's head into it. Over. Let's head in. And ouch, that Molotov didn't work. Oh, but Bit has the right medicine anyway, and he puts them down both. Good job here. That has happened. And again, LvLup. We talked about antidotes, pardon that, and they don't make it work.
Yeah, the vaccine yet to be developed. LvLup, unfortunately, gonna have to save what they can, and in this case, I mean, they can bring about somewhat of a rebuy. Loss bonus is currently at. Is it now at? Yes, this is now at maximum loss bonus. This would be the 4th round in a row lost, if I'm not completely wrong in my calculations. My maths hasn't always been the best.
Oh, don't worry.
So they should be able to drop 2 rifles, and with that, have a decent enough of a rebuy going into this next round, given the circumstances, of course. And in this case, yeah, Dimke AVN, drop 2 rifles, and you're good to go. D and Shadani will be fully equipped. Impulse can go for a full set of utility as well. And this is going to be a round that LvLup can still put an end to NAVI Junior's early aggression here on the second half. Do they go aggressive mid though? I want to see some aggression, man.
Yeah,
finally some banana takes.
Fire at this, don't you?
Yes. Stoke the fire.
And in the meantime, 11-8, LvLup. They have a bit of a problem for sure. Yet, oh, that's major damage dealt.
Whoa.
That
what?
was a good job. That was a good job.
That's pretty cool, man. They got rid of Gospodarov without ever seeing him. That's surprising, to say the least. Usually the op is not as exposed as he was, but then again, Gospodarov is not a classic player. As you said, the fire, though, is coming out. The fire has been stoked in LvLup. Oh, this is... AVN, don't do this to me. If there's no flash coming in from sight, please don't do this to me.
Beforehand, right?
Yep, he will.
Oh.
Although, yeah, AVN realizes you've heard me, didn't you, buddy? Oh, thank you.
It looked a little bit like
It
it looked a little bit like Apache sent in his race drone from Valorant to which was the chicken. All the Valorant players will understand. Either way, getting away from the game, getting to our real game. Apache trying to take a bit of balcony control. Oh no, Bit nearly went. Ouch! That hurt to watch, and that is a big advantage to level up on the side over.
Yes, it is. Capaccio now the last man, and unfortunately he's not Italian. It is going to be a 1-on-4. 10 seconds, clock is ticking. Sees one, sees two, and gets the third in pit most likely. At least should be able to. Yes, he does! But a 1-on-1 without time left. Impulse saving his hide in library as LvLup take it. A close call, extremely close call, as Capaccio pulls it off. At least to kind of punish LvLup for this small transgression.
Oh, man.
But again, it starts with Bit whiffing the entirety of his magazine.
I really have to say over. The matter of fact that you made the Capaccio joke really starts. Makes me worrying about your mental health or something.
Hey, come on, man. I mean,
Brother.
we had Graffiziare yesterday. We can have Capaccio today.
No, ragazzi, molto bene, mi piace.
Oh, un parlo italiano?
Sì,
No?
ho studiato la lingua 3 anni alla scuola. La professoressa non mi piace.
Whoa, we're pulling off some big
Andiamo
words
per
now.
la cast. NAVI Jr. with the 11th round on board. LvLup took
damn.
massive control previous to that. Oh, and Sereni. He's just waiting for that one. He's just waiting for the right moment, the right utility.
I need to turn on the AC, man. It just got hot in here.
No problem. Anytime.
When you start speaking Italian, man, oof, oof. I start getting the jingles.
Great, you have some. In your age. Anyway, let's get back to it. 50 seconds. And the B-side is fairly open here over.
It is. They are leaving D alone with an MP9. That is very much wishful thinking on the side of LvLup. Impulse gonna open it up though. Toppa gonna be caught. And NAVI Jr., what in the world are they trying to do right now is a better question. And it is more rhetorical than anything. It's a B hit, of course. Though they are wasting a lot of time, and they seem to take the play out of the book of NAVI, and even, in this case, Selecta.
That being said, the smoke lands deep onto the coffins. Slowly take out, and he's eliminated. That's control the pain. Know where Sereni stands, but he denies Conquer it. All around in favor of LvLup. That is insane. That once more is the key factor to all of that.
Absolutely. It's a bit of a weird one for NAVI to take it that slow. This is the second round they've lost the time running out on them, and I'm not really sure what they're thinking so hard about. It's a very binary decision. Once you make your commitment to a site, you just have to go for it and stop thinking about how it could affect you. You know, you gotta go. That's it. That's the principle that many teams seem to be lacking at times. When you commit, and that's it. No more second thoughts, no more drawbacks, nothing. And LvLup, they're getting a little bit feisty. They're getting a little bit fired up, and I love it. I really enjoy watching them start to wake up and take these aggressive stances where they start to feel more comfortable in an impulse. I mean, just the fact that he has an op and he's standing under short balcony, it tells you a lot already. With a very tight setup on towards short itself, impulse will find the first. Yet again, where's the flash? Why the peak? Where's the player in middle? There's so many questions and none of them answered. Gaspadarov this time alone, though, will take out Impulse, and surprisingly, they left him out to dry.
Well, let's see if they can put some fire and ignite it over there on the A site. Supporter in form of Sereni's already coming. This man got to be fairly fast, though he does not have any long information, which could become the problem. Pit as well as site is fortified. How long? And he has spotted and eliminated. It's not cleared. There, Finka strikes and gets he does get denied midair. That looks like it for a second, but the bomb site's still under control of NAVI Jr. But for how long? It's over, and that is the 11-11 coming in.
I mean, at this point, I'm not surprised. NAVI Jr., they're starting to trip over their own feet, and they're not really helping each other out at all. They're really, you know, we could see Toppa, for example, peeking out Boiler first, and then you had Gaspadarov solo peeking middle. It's not the problem that they're not getting frags at times. It's the problem how they go about doing it, and they need to be more concise. They need to be more cohesive in that element. They do get the plant at least for a difference, besides the fact that they lost 2 rounds to time running out on them. You know, they're still in a bit of a weird spot, and they cannot afford to make rounds like that continuously, time and time again. As LvLup, as we said, confidence is booming, and the double up in play. This is where the real problems begin. Bit good double nade though, as D will find the return. Well, they are playing a little bit more on the reckless side, if we can say so. And here comes the attempt. Of course, last 2 players, Capacho and Topper, don't really have an option but to attempt the B take. Oh, D missing his chance. Hold on. Yeah, this now opens up a new venue here for NAVI Junior, especially with 2 ops, D and Impulse. They're gonna have to be extra careful and extra accurate if they want to win this round. Second smoke into CT. Now it begins. The clock is ticking.
They have a slight bit of utility in form of smokes and 2 flashes. That got to be put in use quite well. As they're the first smoke rains, wrong position. They imagine it's going to be 1 banana, understandably. Capacho not even blinded. Second flash. Uh-oh, this becomes a problem. And his shape of his body might be anytime soon. Yeah, and there he's dead. Dimka takes the white swing. A few players are just a little too much at that point in time.
Again, I'm a bit perplexed by the way they decide to play the afterplant. Simply put, they don't even risk going into triple and dark and have a crossfire setup where you literally wait for your opponent to get onto site. And yeah, you risk a lot with that, with potentially Molotovs being thrown at you, but you deal with that bridge, or you cross that bridge when you get to it. And unfortunately for NAVI Junior, they hope to be a bit more aggressive open and instead got shut down beautifully by LvLup. 12 to 11 as NAVI Junior with the plant. Yeah, they'll buy up a little bit, mini buy if we can call so. They're starting to fail on all accounts, and as you said yesterday, they've already had a tough spot against Big Academy. This time, this is 13-11, my dude, and it might just be the map slowly going to LvLup if it proceeds down this line.
Very good point you're having, and I mean, this round is inevitably the one of LvLup, except Topa is out of this world. Don't have no chance. That's not at all. You know what I just noticed? Can we swap for all LvLup players real quick? Just every single LvLup player. Nope. Okay. So no, that's close enough. We have the scoreboard though. That's sick. What I actually meant, the majority of LvLup I think is bold. I just noticed that. I just noticed that. Look at that. That's AVN. No, that's Anker.
No way.
I'm not joking. No, I'm not joking. I just noticed that. It's a very interesting fact. So Rainy,
he's not bald. He just has a very short hair.
That counts. Either way, I'm dodging that one.
Oh God. Okay, I didn't.
I really had to put that thought out. What they do are bold moves, which definitely pay off right now with them having a 2-round lead and possibly taking their map pick as well.
Good save.
At any time.
Well, let's see how their bold moves help them out. As Impulse going to be caught under, well, of course, under roof yet again. Bit with a free entry. Again, LvLup do the same as they did previously, leaving Impulse on short alone, and he will be isolated and taken out. A single Molotov enough to snuff out the Opper. That should be a little bit scary. LvLup, though, they're leaving B wide open. The rotation's already coming through. Top of the second, Ivy, and what was he thinking again? Peeking in solo. I know a flash was coming through, but again, the risk does not outweigh the reward. And in this case, Bit will find Dimka. That should be the round gone. LvLup, they get hammered into the ground here, as they fail on all accounts.
They do. They very much do in this one, and that's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
It is. It's bit disappointing, if one could say, maybe even.
Yeah, agreed.
Given that they let Impulse die alone, and Avian pulls off that solo thingy, it's like, come on, boys, you know better than that. Definitely comes as a bit of a surprise that they're so close, yet now they're starting to draw back again and feeling a little bit further than ever.
Well, for now, they're over. I'm very looking forward to see if NAVI Junior are capable of bouncing back onto this. It would be very interesting to see if they're capable of doing so.
Yeah, the damage is pretty severe to begin with.
It is pretty severe, to be honest. As now, we're 55 seconds in. The dedication is clear. The bomb's still back in spawn, which indicates it's definitely a fake from NAVI Junior. They're trying to sell this one quite well, but the utility is there.
Flash.
Yeah, and that is what's needed. Otherwise, they would have pretty much run into it. And now D has to be the key aspect here. And forced away again.
And look at LvLup. They're thinking this is still A, and their thinking is actually not wrong. They are committed to holding the site, although now in the nick of time they pull back both players from long, and the rotation might be what really gets at them now. Dimke and of course Avian left on A side. Here comes the execution, flash on middle, and the full force of NAVI Junior is coming down to bear on them. Where's the smokes? Where is the full execute though? NAVI Junior are wasting a lot of time. 16 seconds. They are really wasting a lot of time. The rotation has now returned from B. What is going on, NAVI Junior?
They have to get a bomb down. The pit player becomes a problem. 6 more seconds to do so. They gotta be careful about pit, but they seemingly know. If Dimke is out, they have bought themselves so much more time in room. As D joins, he can only do it over library, which makes it a bit more of a problem. They must know at least one of the players' position right now, and this becomes problematic because there's no utility on LvLup. They can enter the site with a slight advantage. There's nothing to do so. Pit player still present. Okay, information gained. And now it's about the AWP to have a surprise moment on him. They wait and wait and wait. Push comes in. Gospodara fails. Oh, the AK is not enough of Topa. Is the time enough with the kits?
I believe he has.
He should have that.
He does.
Oh. Milliseconds. Milliseconds. My God.
Again, NAVI Junior. Again, they had what, 15, 14 seconds, and they forgot to clear pit. It's just like we had it between Game Legion and Selecta. When Selecta got onto site, they left Game Legion to have pit control, and literally the same scenario repeats itself again. As long as you leave pit control in the hands of the CTs, you can be guaranteed the loss is almost 60% coming, just because that positional advantage is so much stronger for the CTs. And yeah, timeout going to be called for LvLup. They're going to take a moment here to calm their nerves, and you know the excitement is obviously getting quite high. The adrenaline is starting to pump. It's understandable. They're starting to win this, and they realize that themselves. But NAVI Junior, it really baffles the mind what in the world they are taking so long to push into. Now, there was a Molotov deployed by Dimke at around the 30-second mark, maybe 30-second mark, I think it would be safe to say. So at 22 seconds, the Molotov was gone. That means that NAVI Junior had an additional 5 to 6 seconds to clear out the site, and yet they still only waited down to the 14th-second mark, meaning they really took their time. And when I say taking their time in a good sense, no, in a bad sense. They were rushing onto site. That's why they couldn't even play properly to defrag effectively. Good pop flashes. Onkar is caught with a knife in hand or a utility. What the gods is happening here? Like, this is such a clean round for LvLup right now.
They seem to have a bit of a problem with focus right now. It seems like they're swapping that one off a little. Hurts to watch. Not done yet. Far away from being done.
Doesn't look like it, yeah.
As you see,
Good molly.
50 seconds over. There's not much time left.
Yeah, once again, they're going to be playing this long con impulse. Oh, he's gonna try a little bit of a cheeky pull, and he does get away with it freely. Bit caught. And already we can see the defensive ace strengthening further as Impulse has the crossfire that is easy as that. Dimke finds the second. And this is Fodorov as ordained by LvLup. You ain't getting anywhere. Perfectly done. Really perfectly done.
It's true what you're saying. It's very, very true. This is just unfortunate to watch the NAVI junior team, but I mean, Vertigo is up next. Could be a fairly easy one, and then up Train. We're gonna see. We're not done yet. We're far away from being done.
Oh, far away indeed, but I mean, the thing is, NAVI Junior seem to be a little bit shaken up, perhaps, and just not used to this kind of aggression from LvLup. Look at this, pushing down middle. We hadn't seen this before in this game, and they are, I guarantee you, NAVI Junior will be taken by surprise here. There's no chance they anticipate this and actually have a response. I say it though, Toppa. I jinxed Avian. I apologize there, but again,
well done again.
You know, again, classic me.
As we say, yeah, Kafadar fallen. Impulse must have heard that aggression. It was just a good bit of health, actually. 40 around that number. And so they take the A site again.
Slowly approaching the take. 50 seconds. Seems like we've seen this happen once before already, haven't we?
Yeah, we did.
Deja vu in a way. Shadani smartly pulls off the angle, does not allow himself to be caught freely here on long. And the crossfire being set by LvLup might be enough to break stride of NAVI Junior. Indeed it is. Dimke one. No bit is able to reply. Capacho the second. Capacho gonna clean the house. As I had more confidence in LvLup than they seemingly possess currently, and that is going to be D saving it up. 13-15. We are not done just yet, Vince. We are not done just yet. As I gotta say, I mean, LvLup started off so strong, though. Again, pushing down middle. I expected perhaps a bit of a different approach in the end. But we do see that with the saved AWP, there should be enough money to somewhat reinvest. Maybe not fully. This is minimum loss bonus as far as I can tell. Yes, it is. 1,400. So reinvestment perhaps not exactly an option. Should be 14-15 if we're going by the rules, by the rule book. LvLup. They want to have utility and a proper buy. They definitely have to eco here. That much is clear.
Very much indeed.
We'll find out soon enough what is the case for them.
We'll find out very soon, actually. And in the meantime,
what kind of baffles the mind for me is that they push down middle, yet don't really do anything with it, for example, as well, right? I understand the element of surprise, but when you do push down middle, you need to make more presence elsewhere on the map so your opponents are not focused in the most obvious of ways, if you know what I mean. And it's just kind of surprising. LvLup, you know, did they go for a risky play like that, but then the rest of the team is not looking to support it, albeit perhaps a bit more unorthodoxly,
you don't engage
to try and make sure
else.
that it succeeds.
That's what you probably mean.
In a way, yeah, like not just anywhere else, even on middle, right? Even on top middle, just make noise, make some sort of something where your opponents might think, okay, they're peeking top middle, let's try and take that challenge, and bam, from the corner right next to you comes in the CT. But yeah, in a way, yeah, making noise elsewhere, making presence known elsewhere to divide the attention.
And as you say, it's double takes out D. No big surprise, I would say.
Avian, is that you? Just put it off. Yeah. Clear A, take 14-15 as predicted, as thought of. LvLup They had the opportunity to close it out. Unfortunately, they couldn't take it in time. They will have one more chance. This is it. There's one more round that they will have a chance to bring about the victory, 16-14.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, OT as well. But again, I gotta say, Zesht, in this position, it feels like NAVI Junior have figured out how to work against LvLup and their weird, quirky aggression in a way.
Well, OT or not is the question here, Over. I mean, maybe we get gifted by that. Maybe we'll also see a quick little 16-14, but it's tight, it's close, and Inferno should hypothetically belong to LvLup. Hypothetically. Their buy is not the greatest, their chances are standing quite alright, and NAVI Junior exchange utility on Banana and Apartments fairly fast. As they try to take control of the Banana control, first of all, belongs to LvLup. Double utility makes it work, and they're deep down in it. Uh-oh.
I like this.
I feel you.
You were concerned about D for a moment, weren't you? That he goes through the smoke. Or?
In the meantime, yeah, absolutely. But in the meantime, how valuable will he be? Because they have some sort of realization.
Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't get snapped in half in the same moment that the engagement begins, then he can be very much deadly, even with an NG9. Although they'll check the corner. No! Impulse, helping out the hold. The smoke deploys. That's a free frag for LvLup. Oh boy. As you said, how valuable will he be? Well, the answer is right in front of our very eyes. Extremely. And now the A take. Here it comes. Here it goes. This is it. It's all or nothing. NAVI Junior, no more time to waste.
No time to waste at all. And so, directly heading into it. So, they might be the Knights. They are. 16-14. LvLup on the last edge. They will pick up this map. We're heading on to Vertigo in just a second, and you shouldn't go anywhere.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission.
Let's head into it. After a sad ending for NAVI Junior, we're directly going to see if LvLup can bring the same sadness to the junior lineup on Vertigo, the pick of the CIS squad. Now, let's see how much they can actually make work off of that.
We're about to find out. It is Vertigo, and it is arguably the best map almost in statistics for NAVI Junior. If you disregard Train with a very minimal amount of maps played. Overall, We'll see how this goes. We'll see where it goes. I have a sneaky suspicion that NAVI Junior might have lost a little bit of their patience, and therefore there could be consequences to the loss of Inferno now being translated into Vertigo as well. And I just hope that's not going to be true.
Well, true. You could hope for that, but not quite sure if your hopes are going to be heard. Over. That's a different story, most definitely.
Well,
in the meantime, go ahead.
No, all good, all good.
You want to say something?
I wanted to say that classic timeout, and this time a technical pause by the admin.
Don't get... okay. TS. So basically TeamSpeak. Is it TeamSpeak? Is it Ventrilo?
Not sure what the issue is, though.
Don't worry, Over. Don't worry. We can take a little look on Inferno, which we've seen, which has been a fascinating match to watch. As LvLup ended the half, the first one 8-7, then actually got to say one done 8-7 as well. Funny wise, the statistics are all right now dominated though by NAVI Junior. They have overall the majorly better rating, especially bit with 1.58. The ADR is on point for those lads, and somehow they still managed to lose this one just by a bit. Funny wise, the best player has been called Bit.
I like that you brought up Inferno. I will just say there had been many instances in between where NAVI Junior could have taken the round, but due to time limitations and themselves limiting their options with time, they literally couldn't close it out effectively, and that's it.
True.
I think that's kind of like where the line can be drawn as to why exactly no, but one of the main reasons. Most likely, yes. Thank you.
No, I couldn't agree more on that. I would fully agree on that in that aspect. Yet again, how you always say, it is what it is. And as we're live, LvLup are heading over to ramp of A, as Gospodarov, as well as his teammate, which is the wonderful Topa, waiting for the execution to happen. They remain very calm. Very, very calm.
Composure is everything.
There's immediately going for the retake. Height advantage they try to take. Is there any vision for them is the question.
There should be an angle of attack they can abuse. Yeah, there definitely is in Castle, but you don't want to risk getting headshotted. You gotta understand that, or they do understand, of course, that losing a player early on would be greatly devastating for the CT's ABN. Oh, God.
Ouch. That's pain. That's big time pain. And suddenly, NAVI Junior, in a matter of seconds, they take the round. And that hurts to watch. Ouch.
That was a bit unexpected, to say the least, but yeah, I kind of didn't foresee that happening. Talpa with a triple, Capacha with a double, literally shutting down the attempt of LvLup when they got into CT and actually were able to get rid of both Gospodarov and Bit within mere seconds of each other. In the end, it is as lightning fast of a loss as it is a reply from NAVI Junior. And LvLup, they will buy up. No surprise. AKs and a Galil. Pretty classic in this instance. But the pistol again goes to NAVI. They won both on Inferno as well, we should mention.
Yep. Points. And as right now, the patient setup comes in from LvLup. As you said, right, they pushed through. The AKs could become a pivotal tool, but NAVI Junior is prepared for that. Didn't go for too much of a submachine gun heavy setup, rather directly switch to the M4s and the FAMASs. One in the hand of Gospodarov. Right now tries to take as much information as possible. There he saw at least two, treats, and hopes
Topa goes for a bit of a wild spray. Now, we do see a lot of Vertigo lately, and it is obviously clear as daylight that A ramp is the go-to solution for the majority of T-side teams. And if you recall, it was Endpoint versus... who was it? Endpoint versus... actually, you were not doing it with me. I believe I was doing it with Dean. It was endpoint versus ultimate attacks. Yeah, you didn't get the chance to see that. But out of 15 rounds on the T side, every single one of them went A ramp. So, you know, from endpoint. So, maybe LvLup will take a play out of the book of endpoint and he'll go A ramp every single round. I mean, they're not as linear as they are, but if they find success, why not? No, absolutely right, yeah. It's just something, I guess, you know, that has been built with the Vertigo, the new version of Vertigo, that ramp is the go-to middle now, basically, for this map.
I'm very interested to see what we're going to find out about this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
At this point in time, the aggression from Bit nearly pays off. Timka is patient. Not like this, he says. You might be young, but you can't overrun me like that. And LvLup taken out 2. The investment of NAVI Jr. has been massive, to say it like that. With no big mistakes happening right now from the Balkan squad, I think this should be a story told for a 2-1 and then for a 3-1 due to the non-existent investment.
Yeah, it's quite possible the investment from NAVI Jr. had been a bit high considering how they went about playing the round itself, and in this case the Balkan squad, the Serbian squad, is going to be given the round almost cleanly. I would expect the M4 to be attempted to be saved, as well as the, you know, obviously the kit and all. NAVI Jr. have more to lose than to gain in this instance. Now, there's one thought I'd had during the break, and I kind of, you know, I'm still fully kind of trying to find reason for it, exact, but I think it's shaping up to be something in the likes of LvLup had won the first map, and yes, by a bit of a margin, by a bit of stroke of luck here and there, where NAVI Jr. paint themselves into a corner and not really able to push out of it. But they win it. That's what matters. And right now, going on to Vertigo, a map that LvLup are no strangers to, and, you know, looking at statistics, they are a team that do sometimes prefer to play Vertigo even. And that gives you a good idea that they are ready for this map. If nothing else, they will be prepared to take NAVI Jr. head on. And it gives me the idea of a potential 2-0 happening here. NAVI Jr., I think they should not be relinquishing the idea that right now they're at a big disadvantage, and they have to do everything that is as unorthodox as possible in order to try and counter LvLup. If you get my meaning, in the sense that the more classic, the more defaulty they play, the less chance it is that it will work, is what I'm getting at.
No, I feel what you're trying to say.
NAVI Jr. is
All
what
good,
I'm
all
saying.
good. No, I get what you're trying to say. They shouldn't make this feel like it's a safe haven where they just gotta pick up a map.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
You're right. LvLup have proved us in many occasions that they sometimes have a quite surprise momentum regarding this map. We'll talk about it. Surprise, surprise for D, as he lost his head. Telecom is known and on the radar. Ouch. That hurts. And this will lead to LvLup picking up a third. You are right. I mean, if I recall correctly, we had many surprises on this map when it comes to that Balkan squad. They won against Atex. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
And we casted that, I believe. Did we not? I think. I'll double check real fast. I believe we actually casted that.
I don't want to...
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we casted that.
I already tried to erase that memory, you know? But in the meantime, AVN takes Capacho and raises the face of him. Wait, with a beautiful shot in on AVN, can retreat, build some more room for his team. Don't under a lot of pressure, you gotta be careful about it.
Oh, Bit taking a very express peek. Ferrari peaks and all that, hoping to be a bit lucky in his attempt. And yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to erase that memory of alternate attacks losing Vertigo 16-12 against LvLup? Arguably Alternate's best map. And that was pretty disappointing to watch. But right now, Fadorov, the angle that he has, not predicted. LvLup will pay a high price in order to just get one drop of the hat. Back to a 2v3. This take of site A, not going to be easy to overrun.
No, not going to be easy to overrun. Absolutely not. So, for the moment, step bomb goes down. Awkward considers.
That Molly's a bad Molly. What?
No, it's not Molly. Oh, they're under pressure, but no, Sereni's still alive, but burns away. He realized a little late that it's like, hold on, is he dead?
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, but in the end, of course, Shadani unfortunately cannot escape the clutches of the Molotov. Bit saves the day, yet again. NAVI Jr. able to keep track and able to keep in tow, not allowing LvLup to get comfortable too quickly. But again, it comes down to a one-on-one. It comes down to not even a one-on-one, but a Molotov burning down a player that could have still won the round itself. NAVI Jr., they're getting by barely, they are. And let's see if LvLup will... Yeah, look at this. Just look at this.
Something. With all of that damage being heard. Gospodarov and Co. are very ready for this. And the Molotov forces them back. Loud steps. Should give D and his teammate an idea, but they should the Molly doesn't go too. First track found, second not granted. Can Papa deny any further? No, he can't. And that forces Ankara on the plan. Continue this defense. The MP9 nice and great. Also getting down. Player. There's no money here, over. There's no money on the NAVI Junior side. They really got to make this work or call the early retreat.
Yeah, the options are very limited indeed. And NAVI Junior, I think the call for retreat might just be coming in. Although they'll smoke the bomb, they have a second smoke deployed on towards ramp. This could work if only they get rid of the player on ramp. And they do get rid of one. That spray down, the defuse. Unfortunately, not given enough time. A close call, very tight around the edges, but it's not going to work out. Unfortunately for NAVI Jr., the worst part, they lose a chance here to save those two rifles, to save more than just the round, but potentially rebuy here and then bring it back around. 4-2, LvLup. With this in mind, should be easy 5 rounds to them, or easy 5th to them.
It should be. Let's put it that way. That should be.
Yeah. That's the ideology we're going by. I mean, ideology is the wrong word
That's
here,
the
perhaps.
most horrible word. Yeah, you could have chosen.
Yeah, that's the
the
prerogative.
most ideal one.
By.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Fairly ideal it is.
I mean, it's lovely to see. For a difference, an eco actually that doesn't have any sort of impact. It's definitely a sight for sore eyes at times when you see pistols actually being ineffective. And slow-mo, of course.
Yeah, who could have made that slow-mo?
I mean, let me guess. Is it an admin, or not an admin, excuse me, but a producer named Fish?
Absolutely. Good old fillet fish.
Fillet the fish? Ah.
Junior right now is the question. LvLup on the right streak for that. Quick insight of LvLup tells us that they're slight bit more T-sided when it comes to Vertigo. 52% of the rounds they have won on this map have been won over when they were aggressors. And if those aggressors are right now able to take even more than just those 5 rounds, we're going to see. The utility all strikes. Have seen this somewhere before. And so, Capacho got to try. But is he capable of doing much more than what he does?
Well, he's blinded for a second, sprays blindly into the edge of the smoke, hoping to get something done. Dimka, though, whilst that is happening, traversing over towards default and is able to get the drop of the hat on him without an issue whatsoever. Level up, they've just secured B site, and NAVI Jr. having to save yet again. Oh boy, this is, you know, this is the problem, or the issue that I kind of foresaw for NAVI Jr. The fact that they're going to be, of course, looking to defend A ramp continuously as much as they can, but that's the default idea that they're going by, instead of starting to be a bit more open to perhaps taking B ramp, but taking deep stairs control and focusing perhaps in putting a player in middle to try and flank behind level up quickly, because that's what they'll need, unfortunately. Sure enough, I did mention that A ramp is the new mid in a way for Vertigo, but as you said yourself, how many times will we actually see that from level up is a whole different scenario, or a whole different world.
We see them swap up things, which is very nice to see. I mean, that's something I highly enjoy at the moment. Everything else would have been very concerning, which, you know, always playing so redundant would have not been fun. It's simply like that. It's simply like that. Playing the same over and over and again. I mean, we saw actually the adoption happening from NAVI Jr. back when they were CTs a little earlier. So they're capable of having this understanding. Now, this being the pick of them, it's time to also find your way into it. This game being paused is on a technical basis, so I'm fairly interested to see what comes out of this pause. If major changes are going to be made besides the technical difficulties we had.
Well, we'll find out. Now, of course, this time the pause being called by level up. One of the players having an issue, hopefully resolved ASAP. But as you said, NAVI Jr., luckily with surviving 4 members, they're able to reinvest into this fairly comfortably. Now, obviously, a bit he has to go for a FAMAS. Well, they will drop him a FAMAS, I presume. Unless he wants to go risk it all and play with an M4, a Molotov, and a single flash. I would be loving to see another kit or 2 as well, just to be on the safe side. But what I really want, the biggest change of all, for NAVI Jr. specifically, is the aggression towards B. I want them to take a bit more control towards the B stairway and try and lock level up in place, if that is at all going to be possible. Before it gets too late, before they start to be too comfortable and they start running across the map with their confidence booming and just taking headshots for themselves and taking names.
I mean, you would love to see that, wouldn't you? I agree.
I mean, yeah, and I wouldn't be opposed to it, but, you know, NAVI Jr. might not like it that much.
No, they will definitely not like it too much, that's for sure. As we're taking our time with this, we have a lot of patience.
Whilst we have the moment here, I guess we can quickly mention that the sponsors of this tournament, of course, are our gracious Unicorn and Skin Baron. Make sure to go check them out, both. Esports Millions as well. There's a special little promotion going on where you can sign up for a certain thingy where you get a potential for a great deal of prizes. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that, but there are a few tweets out there by the Esports Bible where you can win, of course, the main gear PC and many other rewards by just following the links and the instructions as follows. And Zesh will provide the technical details of that.
I absolutely do. Don't worry, brother. I always got you covered. You know that. I always got your back when it's about that. Now, what Over was trying to say. There's the following thing. You should check out Esports Bible because there's a pinned tweet that will lead you to the main gear gaming PC giveaway. Besides that, right now round 2 is live, as is the second 9-to-5 Cup, where Unicorn is offering everyone who participates a chance to win a main gear Vibe Stage 3 gaming PC, and the top 50 answers will also share $5,000 of Unicorn bets. This is all just a let up to the €1 million giveaway during Cup 3 and 4. Anyone who answers 10 questions right will win the life-changing prize. Quote, legit quote. I'm not joking. That's what it says. And also, what you shouldn't forget, Unicorn obviously is the place where you can put in your bets. You could get 80 bucks out of your 20 euros deposit. So no worries, just go over to Unicorn. You get 300% of your first deposit using the code RELOG, as the channel is, or as the production crew is named.
Thank you for that.
Ah,
I know you've got.
anytime,
I know
anytime.
you've got my back always. Brothers in arms and all that. I gotta be honest with you. I might sign up for that main gear PC, man. Just the fact it's a PC is like, yeah, I'll take that.
You need a new PC?
I would love a new PC, yes. Well, love. I need is a strong word. I would say it would be required for me to get a new PC, slowly but surely, yeah.
Actually recently
Well,
upgraded.
You know, that's the thing. I usually do upgrades, and now I'm on the verge of needing to upgrade my graphics card, and I'm kind of split between going for a 2070 Super or maybe something different. I don't know. Like I've never really bought a great graphics card. I've always been running on the lower end of quality graphics card, just because, you know, expensive and all. So I'm seriously considering of going for a proper one this time around, and kind of indecisive on it yet.
Yeah, sure. I think they got you covered. Don't worry about that. I'm sure they got you covered about that. Either way,
What do you have in your PC? What graphics card do you have?
I can tell you. I want to be accurate, so I put up my manager right here. So, my graphics card is a RTX 2080. And
Okay.
where can I see my processor here? Is my processor the i7 8700K.
Damn, you really flexing on me here, man. Snap.
Yeah,
It's like,
I mean, you usually buy those things every 2 to 3 years, right? So I invest properly first, in my eyes. You know.
that's true. That's true. I do have an i7 7700K, so it's not as bad when it comes to CPU, but my GPU is the RX 570. Very now old GPU already, and I bought it and I had to buy it because my old card burned out, and I had to buy it in the midst of the worst rise of prices of GPUs.
Because of Bitcoins?
Yes,
Right.
I had to buy it. I had no option. I needed a new GPU, and everything was like 1,000 euros, and that card cost me 400. Now it's 150. So, yeah, you can imagine my disappointment and my utter lack of want to buy anymore.
Oh, you definitely got screwed there,
Oh
unfortunately.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I actually currently am running on a borrowed 1660 Ti from a friend of mine, who's decided to be kind enough to say, yeah, you know, you can use it. I have it as a spare one. I was like, yeah, nice. But the moment it's running nicely, so I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone even was lending you that, that's a kind gesture.
Indeed.
Now we are waiting for our game to continue. Technical issues it is. As the game is paused.
You know what I also need?
Tell me.
A new secondary monitor. It also died on me. All my gear is dying on me, bro.
I actually have to flex there again.
Oh, come on.
I use my old 144 Hz as my second monitor. What is it? A BenQ XL, whatever. And I recently bought a 241.
Oh, dude. My main one is the oldest version of BenQ 120 Hz ones. So,
okay.
Yeah, your flex is doing good right now.
I'm so sorry. No, I know. I remember the story behind it is interesting because I remember my usual 144 Hz monitor stopped working. So the same night I was looking on eBay. What is it actually called in English? Wait a second. Is that, you know what Craigslist is?
I have heard of it. I know it's more American than anything.
Yeah. So basically, there's Craigslist on eBay with eBay. in Germany. Okay?
Okay.
Imagine that. And I looked up, so I can directly go there if I want to and buy it. So I looked up where is the next 100, the same evening. I looked up where the next 144 hertz monitor. Got there, bought it, realized it is only HDMI, which absolutely is a problem. And then I thought, you know what, I just buy a 240 hertz monitor because I don't want to wait. That's the story.
That's the German for you guys. Here. Damn. Well, I don't think I'd buy a 240 hertz because I don't think I can support that much FPS with my current setup. But it'd be nice to see how it affects the gameplay. I mean, already 120 hertz is not bad, but I think 144 is the new.
Yeah, the standard.
Yeah, the new standard.
I have to say, 240 hertz hardly made a difference for my eye. I'll be very honest.
You're not the first to tell me that, actually.
The difference between 60 and 144 is
out
of
not
this
even
world.
comparable. Yeah,
out of this world. But this one, yeah, it's 240 hertz. It's okay.
Well, let's hope and see, and well, let's hope that the rest of NAVI and LvLup are playing on 144 plus. Otherwise, their eyes might be lagging behind a little bit. What a nade on care. Starting off this round as we continue on, the technical break is gone. Timeout, of course, utilized here to fix Sharani's issues with internet. We are now standing on the precipice here of the first half, potentially dropping horribly or going horribly wrong for NAVI Junior.
That was a long break. Let's see if they made up their mind properly. As ramp is once more their main aggression field. It's a bit of a problem. Though it's been hurt, I think. And that was too much. That means the next player might fall as well. Gospodava spotted and killed. And suddenly, things work not as great as intended.
I mean, if they don't use a Molotov to clear out cement, they have 4 of them. If it were an A take, I'd be losing my shingles. But luckily, LvLup, they're gonna go straight for the B take. Here it goes. They've had more than enough time to work it out. And 5v3, man. Will NAVI Junior present a meaningful defense is a better question, perhaps, in this instance.
Absolutely. And besides that, can they make a meaningful defense that will save their economy to some degree? Because they didn't get the frag. You saw them right now boost up on that position, but they say, you know what? Take this home. All that is needed. So, they take it home.
Clear as day, and yeah, with all 3 rifles being kept in check, they'll be able to reinvest. Their loss bonus now at maximum, if I'm not completely wrong on that part. Should be simple enough of a buy. And look at this, even saving another M4A4, that's perfect. That really gives them a bit of extra spice at the end there. Though the one thing that still kind of hasn't really been touched upon, or at least hasn't really been worked upon, LvLup are now at 7 rounds. I mean, they are starting to bring this first half in their favor heavily, with NAVI Junior seemingly having no answer and no response to the current aggression and progression more than anything from LvLup. One thing to mention as well, we have yet to see an AWP, have we?
Well, you proved me once more that you have quite accurate eyes. As I know you. I'm not joking. I was serious.
You make it sound like I'm Batman almost.
Yeah, you got the economy and weaponry vision. As in the meantime, NAVI Junior tried to really solidify this ramp play. And as D moves through, there's a gap. Yeah, that doesn't get him killed. Yeah, it works. In combination together with his teammate Bit, it works. There was a tiny gap over on it that made this all so tough. And now, Junior's squad of not to sincere double things if they really want to go for any further aggression. They got the 1 kill and unsettled LvLup.
Let's find out if perhaps this will be enough or not. NAVI Junior, with 3 men still on defense, they're playing the long con. They're playing a very steady approach to this. I love the fact they keep Ankara on middle. He has the vital position of basically being able to flank whilst also having the informational plays available to him. And right now, Topa takes a bit of a challenge. There will be a push through short. AVN good for one impulse. The second on tower. There's the one and only Gospodarov. Does he handle this well, though, is a better question. A 3-on-3. The angle that he takes is much better than one would ever believe. Dimkin drops the bomb even. As LvLup, I'm not sure what happened there with impulse going back short.
We're going to find out about that for sure.
Yeah.
10 HP is a horrible situation to be in. Third round for NAVI Jr. as they deny the half for the lads. All that was needed at the moment. That's how you can make it work. And suddenly you look at a wonderful situation, a possible situation for NAVI Jr. Surely their opponent have big time money, but surely they might just have the momentum now on their side. It would be about time after being demolished 4 rounds in a row. If they can prove us so, we'll figure it out. Aggression towards he is imminent. Impulse whiffs, and Bit says thank you for the free space.
This is going to be a little bit crazy. Bit, yep, there's the pop flash. This is what I was talking about when it comes down to ramp control of B. And it's perfect. Gives them the entry on middle as well. He walks into the crosses of Onkar. Second is Dimka right behind him. And this is where, as you said, not only momentum shifting, but perhaps in the case of LvLup, a little bit of their confidence starting to not surge rather than anything dip. You know, looking for solo plays, looking for engagements to try and secure refrags is logical, is very much standard that we should be expecting always from them. Yet the way they go about it, what shows their current mental state. And one by one, walking into corners, that's never going to work. Shot any? Yeah, good for one. Brings down Onkar, but that's about it. 47, NAVI Jr. on the saddle currently.
And as you see right here, that's the momentum possibly. That's the momentum possibly coming the way of NAVI Jr. Again, LvLup having a massive economy for themselves, but the same goes for some of the individuals on the CIS side. And you talked about continuously playing ramp. I would say LvLup have done that the majority of the time by now, which could cause them a problem at one point.
See, that problem is when you play ramp, but you don't focus on any other site or any other position than ramp. Because then it gives a good idea to NAVI Jr. what to expect. And if they're starting to premeditate their setups and their plays, you're going to have a harder time dealing with that. We saw it on Inferno a little bit, how LvLup quickly got shut down after being a bit too predictable. And in this case, yet again, a ramp going to be overtaken, though the rotation, NAVI Jr. seem to have been reading it a little bit wrong. The boost as well happening is Bit. He is not going to be spotted early. Shot, and he already had this position yesterday, and he will be able to handle critical damage on Topa. Unfortunately, not a kill, but that is enough damage to scare NAVI into submission. And here comes the execution. LvLup, you have no time to waste. Either go, or you go back into your default and revert to something else. You do not have the liberty of just waiting and waiting and waiting. And look at the rotation. 3 players, 4 players now about to join the crew.
Yeah, and as they're right now trying to join that, somebody nice at first. Dimka out. And that means the AVN, Serene, and Impulse need to see where they land with that. Gospodarov has the first bit of information towards sandbags. Nothing to be found. The clock's ticking. Utility on LvLup is limited to now 1 flashbang. That 1 flashbang belongs to D. You gotta make the change. There it lands, and suddenly a few of them might be blinds, but D is falling down. Onkar is taking a longer run and approach. It falls. Same goes for Capacho. Same goes for the rest. And that's Gospodarov saying bye-bye. 8th is in.
LvLup, thanks to their personal performances of Impulse especially, and even AVN with a double through short, not only do they deny the defuse, but they deny that sweet feeling of turning the tide in your favor as NAVI Jr. get absolutely blasted away. And the worst part here, or the best part, I guess, for LvLup is that they were smart enough to not leave anybody in cement, that they didn't put a player there. You could see the boost coming out as Gospodarov had an angle to take the head of anybody trying to be sneaky through cement itself. And in the face of low utility, LvLup, they handled that very well. I gotta give it to them. And look at this, A-ramp this time, fast as hell. They're gonna be going in quickly. Topa, though, gonna prevent 2 players gonna fall. LvLup perhaps thinking too highly of themselves as to how much they can actually pull off.
Yeah, good points. Yeah, they're thinking too much. Yeah, good points. As you see right here. Unfortunate miss. And this could be a denial of double digits. Yeah, first one, and then get also to be seen. Finds a great frag. Oof, not much more than that.
I mean, such a weird position that both sides are currently in, right? Economically speaking, both are currently on very thin ice, if we can say so.
Very thin ice.
Yeah, what? Okay, Shadani. I guess that's an attempt, if we can, if we can say so. It seems like NAVI Junior had to advice, haven't they?
Nope, as you see right there, they absolutely deny them. Whoops, falling down, but Dimka should not really stand a chance in this one, as NAVI Junior most likely pick up their stick. Shocker just seizes the opportunity. And a quick look at the money of LvLup is going to be interesting, because this does not look as fire as it used to be a few rounds ago. LvLup have different problems right now for this final round. The swap on the city side gotta give a change.
You bring up an interesting notion. It's not as fire as it used to be a few rounds ago, and that tells you the story of how close LvLup always were, potentially getting reset, potentially getting put in the corner itself. And once more, they'll have to make do with a very lackluster amount of utility and in general just firepower. As 2 AKs, a Mech-10, a P250, a CZ even. It tells the story of how greedy at times they were and how careless they were at times. And I think the last round example of Shadani just pushing up A-ramp boldly like that gives you an example, or tells you the story of how overconfident they also tend to feel at times. Dimka though, on middle, as on Care falls, it's a great start. LvLup, they got the refrag. They lost Shadani, but they have the refrag through mid. That is a great deal of control they're able to exert if they're lucky enough, although Dimka walks in through construction. Again, solo. The execution of B yet to even begin.
Yeah, and as you see right there, good night. I mean, they're all jumping on the sites, and they can't find much for themselves. LvLup definitely lost a lot of control over themselves, while NAVI Junior adapted brilliantly to their opponents.
I mean, the one thing I do not understand is why is Dimka going solo through middle construction without the rest of the team pressuring the B site? It just doesn't make too much sense. Like, you gotta time it together, and Dimka has to come in after the execution has begun. Only then the element of surprise is actually there, potentially. And even then, that's not, guaranteed.
True. Outside of that, let's take a look. NAVI Junior makes a lot of steps towards ramp, and that should have been heard by pretty much everybody from the LvLup site. D and his teammate focusing on the sidelines for the moment, where they try to catch one once it goes too far. Tilty prone, Molly coming in, and there's a good bit more on the belt of NAVI Junior. Is it going to help them? Not for now. Bomb is in their hands. Oh, and D and his teammate might want to reconsider it! There comes the Glock, but it's denied for a second. Gospodarov for 32 stands no chance.
First pistol for LvLup. Interesting choice that they decided to fight after dropping the bomb on short, but power to them, as they had support from CT. They were able to overtake and hold the line long enough for the rest of LvLup to get there up close and personal. NAVI Junior, eager and fast. Unfortunately, not accurate enough. That is going to be 7-9 as LvLup take this first pistol of theirs and deep smoke into ramp. It's actually a lot harder to throw it than one might imagine. You can quickly miss it just by a single skip at the beat. Pop up. It's the first time I'm seeing a Glock actually trying to take a fight through ramp A. Interesting, definitely. Shows to tell that they're not afraid to fight, if anything.
LvLup definitely got to play this one just by the book. There's nothing really you should give NAVI Jr. at that point in time. Information gained. No, didn't see it. Uh-oh, the man one gets the ding. And a few bullets all over the place. Man, still alive. I think he got double dinged there.
Yep, he did. Thankfully, Glocks. As useless as they are against head armors, they don't really pose that much of a threat if you have support around you. This is going to be a fun little round, though. Just compare the buys between the two already, and you get a good idea what is to come, right?
Друзья, извините, что перебиваю, пожалуйста, подпишитесь на канал, пожалуйста, оформите subscribe и подпишитесь, пожалуйста, чтобы было 90 сабов, пожалуйста. Всем спасибо за просмотр, за то, что смотрите, ставите лайки, подписывайтесь, спасибо всем.
That is a problem. NAVI Jr. being this junior project, man, that's just a sick project. Then on the other side, you have the lads of the lads of LvLup who really have, you know, I remember when they were called Juggernauts last year, and they continuously proved themselves. It would be wonderful to see them also have success, like a playoff. We're gonna find out anyway. In the meantime, 1 minute left on the clock.
It would really build their storyline even further, something that obviously every team would dream of. And as you said, the playoffs, that certainly is an achievement in itself that they will be very proud of if they're able to get there, though a long road yet ahead of them, one of the obstacles being NAVI Jr. Now one step in the right direction already made, now the second one here on Vertigo, let's see if they can fully enclose it. A B attempt. The read by LvLup, very poor. They're not seemingly realizing this is a B take. Boost over through the wall. There will be, of course, Capacho coming in hot. And it's all on Dimka to survive at least long enough. He finds one. No, Capacho denies that. Vital shot.
So vital, and what a mistake by him there. That cost him the round. Did that make NAVI Jr. the successor of this specific round number 8? There shouldn't be too much to LvLup stay with the weapons, even though they have a bit of a beneficial situation for themselves. It would make a lot of sense. I don't see that one being a good idea, very honestly.
Nope.
And now the cheapest weapon gets saved through. That's the MP9. And 8 to 10, NAVI is fighting back big time.
As we would expect, it's just surprising that LvLup actually misread the scenario as much. They had no information to glean off of, so the reason to relocate the fourth player that quickly towards A, to me personally, didn't make as much sense. Now again, there are obviously calls coming in during the round itself, the mid-round calls being, okay, let's gamble, let's see if it's actually going to be A or not. Let's put all 4 there and see how it goes for us. Unfortunately, Dimka, he had a role to play in, and his role was not fulfilled. If he had gotten the frag on Capacho, there was a chance he would have gotten away safely to MBK, potentially hiding a few seconds longer, buying that rotation time to get in close and then start to actually work in retaking the site. Again, NAVI Jr. though, they got the drop, and afterwards it was just a landslide basically as the rest of the players lined up in the same angle. Game gonna be paused again though. I dare say it is on the side of, I guess.
Now gamble, my brother. Gamble.
I'll say LvLup. I'm gonna be gambling here. I think it's LvLup, right?
I think Fish is gonna make a lot of fun of you once it's wrong.
I know. Always.
It's a little bit lackluster what they come up with ideas. It seems very much that LvLup sometimes just struggles to refresh their mind.
That's actually not a bad notion that you bring up. It's the way they approach certain certain aspects of their aggression on the CT side that kind of has a pattern to it, and a repetitive pattern that doesn't really change at all. For example, if we take a look at alternate attacks and how they take A ramp control, and Skrunk specifically, you know, the way he plays that close corner towards yellows, towards short, it's easy to predict that. But if you play your cards right, if you have, in this case, let's say Impulse as the AWPer watching down the line through that edge of the smoke, and then you have another rifler on Ivy trying to bait the attention, and then the third player that obviously is close range, in this case it would be Skrunk if we look at alternate attacks, you can get that A control fairly easily. Now, you will fight for it early on, but that's what you're there for, right? That's why you put 3 players on ramp.
Yeah,
you can't play defensively with 3 guys on site. I mean, you can, but that's going to give a lot of control to Navi Jr., and the 3 people that you do have on defense are not going to be as effective as they could have been otherwise. And in this case, we see what happens when LvLup have no information. They have the numbers, but they don't punch them into the computer, I guess I can say, and they don't calculate, okay, out next is a B hit instead of an A hit. So they'll have to work on that. They'll have to fix that if they want to have any sort of chance of reading onto Navi Jr. what is coming their way. Now, of course, this was only the first round, so we might be taking it a bit too far, right? It is only the first round. LvLup still only warming to the idea that Navi Jr. might be doing something else than an A ramp hit. But they do need to implement that ASAP.
They do.
I hope I didn't make it too complicated. I tried to
no.
deconstruct as best I can.
Don't worry.
The majority of our viewers are Russian, though, so hopefully their English understanding is not that poor.
Are you that concerned about the Russian language?
No. I'm just, you know, many people enjoy this game, obviously coming out to support Navi, and I bet there's a lot of Serbians and in general the people from the Balkans coming out to support LvLup. I will have to admit, I hear support LvLup more than anything, just because they are of the same
Region.
Region, yes, thank you.
Well, as they are from the same region, let's see if they spit the same fire as you do. In the meantime, LvLup is failing to keep up the defense strong from the beginning. He is on the ground, eating the dirt. The rest of the squad looks to see where they can land. And as you see right there,
Topper.
it's already dead. And Navi Jr. on the run, on the strike, on the performance. Impulse dead as well. AVN, it's a matter of time. Leaves us with Dimke.
And yeah, it's a save. Dimke has no option yet again. As you said, it's a matter of time, and in that case, the time was up. 9 rounds, Navi Jr. They are getting back on track, and you know, this is the switch of the momentum that we waited all half long on the first one. They were able to pull it off quite nicely. In this case, once more, their T side taking precedence, and it reminds me a little bit of Inferno, how LvLup did struggle to hold on to Banana, how they did struggle to hold on to A. It just felt like they were a bit too passive at times.
You're absolutely right. At that point, 9 to 10. Back and forth, back and forth. Difficult. Very, very difficult it is.
Well, do we expect an eco? Surely.
Yeah, we should. We do, and we're blessed. All right. LvLup, maybe they got the spice with this very, very surprising sort of plan. We see from... Okay. That one is landing on the ground. That's going to be the 51st Street blocked for a few hours. So... hope you have your radar on for traffic control.
Some poor guy's gonna get it into his house or into his windows like, hey, smoked my bedroom off, guys, no.
And as LvLup is going to try to approach this with a very, very B-heavy stack. the obvious is it's A. And as Dimkenko realized, we might just need to swap things. He sneaks onto site. Rest of the team. Possibly threatening flashbang landing. Molly denying a good bit of movement. There comes a flashbang.
They're gonna push through.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and there they come, but not a single one. Ouch! That hurt, Oliver. That was fairly painful to watch.
I just remained quiet because I wanted to see what happens, and yeah, that did hurt. In my heart, you know, a little bit of it just shriveled up. 10 to 10, level up. The flash didn't work as planned, or at least was perhaps a moment too late. As NAVI Junior are able to tie it back up, as I said, it is only the first few rounds here. 3 rounds in a row is not that big of a deal. Let's see if LvLup have learned anything from their own mistakes and, of course, the plays that NAVI Junior had attempted to make. Once again, classic 3-2 split. They're taking B ramp control. I like that a lot. There's one tiny detail they seem to be... Okay, never mind. They are putting Shadani back on mid. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to see. Now they have the control and the, at least somewhat, defense that I wanted to see from them. Vimkem, ooh la la.
There it goes. Sign of life for LvLup. And his top up needs to react to the op. He gets a collateral D with a play by the book. As he gets a little lucky with Gospodarov joining that party. That bomb has been hurt, that information has been given away, and A side still under attack. NAVI have got a minute left, but they're under pressure with only 3 players remaining. They failed the first.
Yeah, that is going to be a bit of a disappointment. Shadani, though, in tower. He's going to drop down. This is a risky concoction he's trying to build up, but D is going to be caught as well. All of a sudden, hold on. This is not yet over, although the flank from ramp has been set and not spotted or otherwise tagged. Ooh la la, what a juicy round this came out to be.
I think we're thinking about the same, because this became extremely dangerous at one point. Here you see it. A slow-mo by the book.
Yep.
Mate for the king.
Well, as close as that was, NAVI Junior seemed to be unfazed in the moment. They do have everything they need in order to potentially get another victory on the board. We will be seeing a bit of a different approach. Actually, no, the same approach with a bit of a setup towards middle. 2 players looking like they want to control that. In this case, Shadani and D, although... Excuse me, not Shadani. Impulse and Shadani, yeah, that's what I meant to say. So interesting decision in this instance that they actually pull away from A-ramp and focus even AVN towards middle. Shadani, good night. That's a very prefiable spot. I'm surprised he's standing there.
That's a bit of danger. Definitely not going according to plan. LvLup. They gotta hold this one quite well. They seemingly rotate over more towards A, understandably. Utility is limited. It is the collateral that really opened it up for them previously. Don't get me wrong, but that's a bit based on luck. At that point in time.
Yeah, timing and luck, I guess. Both together a little bit. Yeah. But here comes the 8 take. This is it. Yet again, LvLup. An opportunity to hold the line. 2 players defending the third. It was close range. D finds 1. That's it. And AVN, he's going to take a very aggressive stance towards yellow. And he will find himself only the 1, though. That's not good enough. D comes in hot, comes in swift. Is he still looking for more? Yes, he is. Jesus, D, you are risking it all with that.
Yeah, true. That is the critical part about it. You just need to stay alive to work off the man advantage. Can they make work off the man advantage? They can. Bit is out of the equation. If he even gets killed after that time, they lose. Oh! This is big time money lost for LvLup.
Oh yeah.
No matter what, this is big time money lost.
They're going to be very worried about the amount of cash they have left in the bank. D, I don't believe there was an op even saved. So yeah, most certainly there's not even an op coming up for D. And NAVI Junior, I am a little bit surprised they play that slow. You know, we did see that switch up from Inferno to here was the biggest difference for them was the fact that they're no longer taking up to, you know, up to 1 minute and 30 seconds in order to get onto a site. Rather, they, at the minute mark, they start executing, give or take, you know, maybe a little bit less. But they are no longer taking as much time as they used to. Although in this round specifically, unfortunately, they took a bit too long, and yet again finding themselves on the other end of the rope. And they will give the round to LvLup, but as we said, as we pointed out, the economy, the damage dealt to it is quite severe. Second time out, first for NAVI Junior, now for LvLup, as they're both starting to discuss their current tactical position. And I want to see what LvLup have in store. Dimke didn't drop a rifle as far as I could tell. He actually went for utility. You little bastard, Dimke. Why didn't you drop a rifle, mate? Unless they're looking for an eco, which would be the first time I'm seeing an eco after one round, but imagine that. Imagine that they go for something crazy like that. I'd be utterly surprised if they actually pulled it off. Would be the first time in professional CS history that I'd see an eco probably after a one round, which shows to tell how bad of an economy the CTs are having it right now.
Absolutely agreed. It's really devastating that the tools to hold somebody up are really limited for them. And now it's time to see what we can do. It's time to see what LvLup can deliver. Again, a slow approach for NAVI. Ramp focused it is. Made a good bunch of steps here and there. Now they're fairly close already. And passive LvLup reacts.
I love what they're setting up here. LvLup, they'll be pulling in a few smokes. They'll be trying to respond with what NAVI Junior throw. They'll be countering them with utility as best they can. And AVN already has a smoke ready for site itself to try and block off vision. Impulse though, peeking out just before the pop. As the counter-op works out perfectly. The glass cannon fails as well. D is down. Shot and he finds himself one, but the execution is still coming through. They're going to overtake short, or at least try to do so. AVN able to refine the target. Still going to be a 2-on-3. Let's see how far does this stretch. Well, the answer, not far enough. This should be the end of the round itself.
They got too eager again. Once more, they just got too eager. It felt like they continuously do the same mistakes in the 1v1s that should not happen.
That's confidence, man. That's overconfidence, I guess.
Absolutely.
You can even say.
I don't like it. I'll be genuinely honest with you. I don't like it at all.
Neither do I. Neither do I. It's just risking it for very little reward. And yeah, sure, you can get a drop, or you know, you can get a kill, but that's not really going to change the pace of the round itself too much. If you get dropped immediately after, you're not really helping yourself out at all.
No, not one bit. And it's painful.
I have to admit as well, I'm not fond of this force buy. I really am not. It's like, okay, Deagles, I'm not going to say they can't succeed, but it's just the fact that they go into the force buy here.
Yeah.
It tells the story itself.
You're absolutely right. It seemed like a way too unnecessarily desperate move.
Yeah. I don't know what they expected.
That's what you get. That's absolutely what you get. NAVI Junior taking over Vertigo. At least for now. Tied up situation is going to come in. Then they're a little bit probably problematic situation on the economy. And that should be the 12-12. A big mistake. As Impulse though tries to do damage control. I doubt he will be capable of doing so.
Well, the gig is up. LvLup. They've used their buffer, they've used their joker. It's an eco here. That's 13-12 most likely, unless they bring out some amazing USB rounds that we have yet to see in this week. I don't recall not a single round yet being lost to full eco in all the games we casted. So I mean, it's kind of due time to see one for a difference, because there was a tendency to see it at least every single map for one here and there back in the day. But stop up. Oh, come. I'm just gonna remain quiet, Zesh. You have this one.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Topa in the meantime dies. The USPS hypothetically shouldn't do a thing. As overhead jinx. Uh-oh. There's somebody pulling a big squad coming at you. Still lost a few bunch, not too many.
I just, as soon as I saw the first wall fall, I was like, no way. You gotta be, just, that would be the biggest flex they could ever pull off. But yeah, here we are. It's kind of go time for LvLup. They have to win this, no exceptions, if they wish to have any chance of closing out Vertigo with success, or at least somewhat successful.
Well, for now, maybe I'm taking out early.
What?
Might be.
Hello?
Yeah. Something's off. Something's very off with LvLup. Something's absolutely off with LvLup. Something's not right here. And something feels like they have absolutely lost their focus to the max. That's a shame. Because we saw them really battle it out on Inferno. We saw them here delivering a good bunch of rounds, but how much more opportunities do you want?
Exactly, like how much more do you need? It's like, what is going on, boys? Like, you want to take A ramp control, all fine and dandy. Surely you're aware of yellow. Well, guess they are not. It's a bit concerning, to say the least. Impulse, hold on, 1v2. Wouldn't be impossible for him to potentially try and pull this off. He has a smoke available. And peek out a little bit wide, the nade, and the smoke is a giveaway that he's throwing things, and of course Bit will peek out, take his head off. And that's a wrap. The economy is gone. The position for them is now dire. Do they go for pistols and Kevlar? Yes, they do. I'll be honest, I'm a bit disappointed here. LvLup, they're not playing as we know them to be able to.
No, not at all. You couldn't be more right about it. You could not be more right about it. And as you see right there, punished again and again and again and again. You hate to see that. As we see, it became a shooting gallery over. It became legitimately something that NAVI juniors picks. They just pick from one by one. They really lost some of control. And at that point in time, AVN strikes with one, but if they really make it an overtime, that would be insane. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, it's not impossible. It wouldn't be the first time we're seeing something like that, though. Given what we're seeing in this instance, given how the players are starting to lose focus and starting to lose their seemingly patience even, I think it's safe to say that NAVI Junior, with a 3-round buffer, they should be safe and sound to close it out to pull us on train, and the third and final one of this best of 3. Though, double up, fair enough. It's going to be an attempt, and obviously it should be, LvLup. They're going to put all their eggs in one basket. And let's see where it carries them to. Good pop flash. This is going to blind at least Impulse. And yep, there's the second one shot, and he blinded it likewise through short. There's going to be an approach. No path. Gets only...
Oh!
Well, actually not even naded, but rather shattered by Sharani. I think he has to stay alive. That's it.
Yep. As you say that.
I jinxed him.
Yeah.
I know.
That's all good. Impulse remained the last man standing. And as you see right there, even he falls. Next one is Sereni. AVN as well as Steve will try their best. The bomb has been put out in the open. they must have some sort of awareness about AVN as he charges.
No way.
But
Yeah,
gets
okay.
punished like a punch.
Друзья, спасибо всем за
16-12, that was
просмотр. Сейчас
vertigo.
будем стримить третью карту.
A little bit of a lackluster performance.
Подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайки. Спасибо всем большое. Сегодня будет еще 3 игры. Если, конечно, гамбит перенесут. Если не перенесут, то гамбитов не будет и будет еще 2 игры. Всем спасибо, подписывайтесь и пока до следующей карты.
Никого не бань, пожалуйста, Монг. После, что пишет, я даю только мут, после бана сразу же разбандал. Типа, я понимаю, что он пишет, но... Типа, окей,
Блять. А, у нас уже чел за цементом.
да?
Ну да, их там двое, походу, они шорт вдвоем пошли.
А что если делать, если мне похуй?
Не знаю.
Ебать, меня выебали, блять, из-за того, что ты, сука, гнида ёбаный, по мне стрельнула, блять.
Ох,
Пососала по
нихуя
итогу,
себе,
блять, в
блядь.
конечном итоге, блять, подвели все суммы, сука, и ты пососал, потому что ты меня выебал.
Ссать,
блядь.
Рома. Ты дебил.
We're about to get hot for nothing else than train. NAVI Jr. is going to fight LvLup after we've seen a very dull, a very lackluster Vertigo LvLup had in their hands for a bit of time, then gave it away. And hopefully learn from their mistakes. Now NAVI Jr. tries to take the early advantage with the sights. Might just do so, as Dimka is the last one remaining. If he plays it right.
It is quite fitting that we're sitting in the best position on the map. We have the classic plastic chairs and the barbecue, so this is as good as it gets. And as you said, it is going to be NAVI Jr. be able to start on the CT
Так,
side
друзья,
yet
началась
again.
третья карта. Попрошу вас, пожалуйста, подписаться на мой канал. Еще 2 саба и будет 90. Пожалуйста, друзья, подпишитесь на мой канал, поставьте лайк. Я стримлю ради вас, друзья. Ну, подпишитесь, пожалуйста, по-братски. Буду очень рад. 90 сабов, это очень много будет. Всем спасибо.
Albeit a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. And as we're finally started, NAVI Jr. starting over as the defenders. LvLup, do they stand a chance or not is the question. Looked very unfortunate what has happened over there on Vertigo. Inferno was a very close one. And the victories, I think we have to put something here in consideration, my dear. The victories they have picked up against Train was one against Alternate, and I have to say this must be a horrible shape, Alternate. I'll put it like that, very honestly. No, I'm honestly for real.
Okay.
Graffitiare is where they won 16-3 and twice against an Albanian team. So, I'm not quite sure how we should interpret the stats of LvLup when it comes to this map. In the meantime, NAVI Jr. now on the defensive side, trying to get back control over on B.
It's going to be a retake, a 5v5, something we tend to see more and more as of late, even in other matchups. This is becoming the new way for the CT. And right now, NAVI Jr., they're starting to waste a little bit of time now. Luckily on Karen Bit, though, will get the drop of the hat on D and Dimke. As the double D drops, so does AVN, and all of a sudden it's down to Shadani and Impulse, and ooh la la, Shadani goes out swinging, hoping to succeed in picking up a quick frag. And he does so exactly. Unfortunately, that's the only thing he does do. And the defuse comes in at time as Capacho retrieves the kit. And LvLup will have to take the L on the pistol. Now, mind you, this is the 4th pistol for NAVI Jr. They're definitely starting to succeed in that regard as well. And LvLup, not surprised, full buy.
Full buy it is. 1-0, which leads to a rare sight of an AUG. Hardly seeing that anymore, especially when they don't have the big buffer of money. But it could be a very viable tool. We know that Train offers a lot of long-range angles, so therefore it makes a lot of sense, especially on this map. Sereni now taking a bit more Ivy control. He saw him, makes a dangerous tap, and lets him know, you better not come any closer. And LvLup.
With that tap, forgive me, they also revealed the AKs.
Very good points. Very, very good points. I think it's not too much of a surprise anymore. Yet on the other hand, I agree. It maybe shouldn't have happened. Either way, Papa is ready to get away from Spit, sees a lot, and fails to work. Also, Papa and Anker do the job. The AK's becoming quite handy. How much more time can they pay for Carpaccio? Because he is a off. It doesn't work. Oh no, everything turned left and right. Suddenly it is all theirs.
We're concerned about Carpaccio, but Gospodaro comes in through the smoke and Ivy and is able to take away only the one. Cutting it very close though to the veins itself as LvLup are able to stabilize in the nick of time, taking down Carpaccio before things did get out of hand. 1-1, LvLup, they succeed on the force buy, or the full buy if you want to call it that. And well enough power to the people there. Hold on. Nice.
I just had to thought about that for a second. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a special one.
Absolutely. Whilst the Deagles could become the useful tool for NAVI Junior, a quite heavy investment from them, which will set them back in case they fail. I guess they don't aim for failure in such a scenario.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't, but you don't really know with Deagles always. It's you aim for the head, but you hit the leg. Now you do the calculation. Let's see. Oh, on care. His timing here could be the worst ever, although he times it back perfectly. Oh my god, he gets the first D to fall. The headshot is imminently a disaster for D. Luckily enough, AVN is able to reply, and likewise did.
Ouch. That was a brutal headshot off the all wrong. A lot of room actually that has been conquered, and taking that back, a lot of frags that have been conquered. Not only that, the rifle is for 3. Couldn't imagine that this one stands up elevated. NAVI Junior deal good damage, but gotta definitely eco in this one, giving LvLup a good chance to get a free one on the board for themselves.
Yeah, start to ease into this. LvLup, they are on the T side. The one biggest difference for Train compared to Vertigo is the fact that LvLup, in this case, the more rounds they accumulate, and if they get to the critical point of, let's say, 5, 6, 7, well, let's say 6 and 7 is where it really starts to get a bit more fun. NAVI Junior should be feeling a little bit concerned. Can be, and surely they don't want to test their mettle with limited utility as they, well, with limited economy as they have it right now.
That's true. In the meantime, a good bunch of players have to run away with the points of health they have. Would be very interesting.
Pulls into the op, no surprise. Gospodarov on the glass cannon. Again, no surprise there. I expected it halfway, and I actually would be more surprised if he chose to go for the Kevlar M4. As you mentioned, you know, this is obviously a bit of a mid to long range engagement map, so the op definitely favors those fights if you're in Ivy, if you're in connector, or perhaps towards B behind upper. But a classic 1-4 split, NAVI Junior taking this one as easy as one would imagine. With Topa and Pop, they have a great deal of control, and more than anything, not control, but rather information going their way. Ooh, Topa, trigger discipline there.
Very important to have the trigger discipline. Remains very calm. Dimke, in the meantime, does not remain that calm. Takes him out. That was all about the trigger discipline. And here comes the attack on A. Further. Oh, it's down to 1 point of health. Unfortunate ending for him, but this gives them still a bit more of a chance. LvLup, having a man advantage. Gotta see where they land with this, because this bomb has hit the ground. The timer is ticking, and NAVI Junior has pressure on themselves.
NAVI Junior need to deliver. They have no kit to work with. Excuse me. Shadani able to drop bit. Capacho still in connector, kind of locked in place, and now he mollies the bomb itself, or at least the bomb side itself, and that should be enough. LvLup to close out the round with success. NAVI Junior having to pull away. I mean, Gospodarov with the glass cannon, really his hope to do anything here was more dependent on both Capacho and Bit to get something done, and then perhaps he could come in and work his magic. AVN survived somehow with 1 HP. That's the biggest surprise of all. That duel that he had towards Sandwich was a bit of a decider as well, giving the advantage to LvLup that was much needed. And we will be seeing, I would dare say, at least pistols in Kevlar for NAVI Junior, especially with the M4 and the op that they saved up. I would hope to see some support from the rest of the squad to try and build up a bit of a battle line, if you want to call it that. The line in the sand to be drawn.
Yeah, I fully agree. I fully understand what you mean. at that point in time. Navi find the first frag onto AVN, and even a free AK. Dimka realizes could go further, but the risk of dying yourself is just too high. And the mainly Serbian squad definitely in a bit of trouble. Though as you see, the opponent hardly has anything to itself. AWP in armor, M4 in armor, and a bit of an aim punch. This man is out.
This is it right now. NAVI Junior, as you said, safe and sound, pulling away with Bit and AK. It gives them that bit of extra firepower to work with, even in the fact that he is the last cannon AK. Effectively. Oh, Capacho, the timing here as he peeks out. Dimka gets caught. Gaspadaro peeks out connector as well, able to shut out D. And Bit supports the defense. There comes the AK in play. Shotani, a little bit late to the party. Already noticed. And this should be the second to NAVI on top of a saved up an M4 with pistols to support it. They get away with it. No surprise, really. LvLup, they did kind of disregard the upper brown holes a little and allowed Bit to take that AK for free. And afterwards, there was no response. And something we always kind of insinuate, something we try to bring up is the fact that whenever you do lose a player in a certain position, you have to respond in kind on a different side of the map. Either be it Ivy here or main, or maybe even retaking upper brown holes and pop for that matter. Anything that gives a bit of fear into the bones of NAVI Junior that can perhaps force them to play a bit more defensive. Instead, LvLup late to respond in general. Rebuy, double up. Gospodarov saving his own, and of course Onkar picking up the one previous from, I believe, D, or Impulse in that case. Oh, A split, it's a fast one.
Yeah, it is a fast one, and well, unfortunately we don't see it, but it is a fast denial. Not a single point of health lost. Now it's gone on NAVI Junior. But Impulse is definitely known, and the impulse for NAVI is hunt this man down and let the AWP not stand any further chance. As he tries to wallbang them, no opportunity. And a quick look on the money of LvLup tells us there's trouble coming their way, as though two of the lads have quite good money on them. It's concerning in the long run, because let's be real, the tie is inevitable. Force from Sereni works to some degree, sure, because he can afford an next round. But NAVI Junior once more gaining a lot of confidence with the frags, where everybody once more seems to just like run in.
Yeah, kind of going quickly about it, hoping to achieve some sort of blitzkrieg action that succeeds. It's not the worst of ideas, but unfortunately when timing is not with you, when positions are not with you don't get much done. And look at this, Gaspadrov double, Capacho double, and it's down to shot and he left. He has an AK, so maybe he can get another frag or two. This should be the end of the line right here. As LvLup will have to concede the advantage. And Shadani, I think it's too much to ask out of him to clutch this one out and secure an ace clutch effectively.
Yeah, you would ask for a lot there. I would agree. A lot you would ask for here. And that's not what you get. There you have it. LvLup. Finally there's the buyback on them. Double op setup is the thing you see on training again and again and again and again. Makes a lot of sense. And so we might just end up on seeing a very quick round if NAVI Junior set up their AWPs right. Molotov is insanely uncomfortable. They're pushing towards the op, pushing towards Ivy. Bit gotta be ready for that. As Impulse dies, the nade comes close as well. And there he's dead. This is a very well coordinated setup, as though AVN really thought the 180 could work. This got a little out of hand, my dear.
It is getting a little bit out of hand, isn't it? And most certainly it's
Друзья, подпишитесь, пожалуйста, на канал, поставьте лайк, буду всем очень благодарен. Пожалуйста, вам же не сложно. 20 онлайн, плюс 17, практически 20, пожалуйста. Прожмите лайк и на кнопочку подписаться, пожалуйста. Вы же по-любому все 17 не подписаны, пожалуйста, подпишитесь. Или я, конечно, вру, или что, я не знаю. Мне кажется, что не все подписаны. Пожалуйста, подпишитесь, исправьте это. Всем спасибо.
Feeling very comfortable in their current shoes. Let's see, level up. Maybe Deagles might be a difference maker and might be actually giving them a chance. Speak of the devil.
Yeah, speak of the devil. Yeah, squad has no mercy.
And they shouldn't.
They should absolutely not. I have to say, I got a little bit disappointed what happened towards the end for LvLup on Vertigo. It seemed like they really have lost their composure. And as now, Serena has a beautiful angle. The 6-4 though is secured. And a quick look at the money tells us those lads got big bucks in their bank account and don't need to worry for a long time.
Yes, sir. At 12,000, 13,000 for Topa, 11,000 for Gospodarov. Certainly, just themselves, they have enough to supply the entirety of NAVI Junior almost. And as you say, I likewise was a little bit shocked to see how they started to play at the end of Vertigo and really disregarding the rule of law, if you want to call it that, or just the rule of general thumb of CS, how swift they tried to close out the rounds. And you could see that in their eyes they wanted it, but with their actions they kind of took it all away. Full buy, as LvLup is struggling to find any sort of purchase, any sort of grounds to work off from. We can see the counter aggression already coming in. NAVI Junior taking upper brown hall's control, very patiently approaching upper pop, and they are so careful about this. You can tell they don't want to screw it up. They know better than to run into an opponent and not be prepared for him. And this is where it's all going to be decided right now. A hit coming through.
And that hit, is it going to work out in the end? Topa falls. The big problem, really the biggest issue is Capacho. Buy some time for him, and this story could turn out very horribly wrong. He sneaks and keeps on sneaking. Nobody has a clue about him. They keep on buying time for him. He's not allowed to get exposed. He is getting one after another. It falls. Gospodarov nearly makes it and work with a better movement. Either way, close enough it was. And that pays off in the end. I love the flank opportunity. Really, he was nearly there on time.
I would dare say that Capacho was not given enough time by the rest of his teammates. By the time he got there, it was only Gospodarov left. So if we really want to be more pedantic about it, certainly they could have fallen back and given them more control early and allowed Capacho to actually succeed with that. Topa as well. We should mention that his flank failed in pop, and that's another part of why NAVI Junior struggled as much. And even then, still coming down to a one-on-one, it tells the story that NAVI Junior are not to be trifled with. Yet LvLup. Going into a default now, approaching this as one would expect for the T side of Train. 1 by 1, no longer an option, though the double!
So good. They never expected that to be the case. They made it work quite well.
Oh, okie dokie.
Right here, ready. Trying to make a bit more work off of that. Man, oh man, this is a roller coaster, this game. But at that point in time, Capacho should slam the brakes.
Such a back and forth impulse. He's got a tough job ahead of him. He finds the first though, and he's not aware of the flank from Pop, and unfortunately for him, he's also out of positional advantage. As you said, Capacho closing the gate. And it will be 7-5. LvLup, close call, very close call. Indeed, it's a roller coaster and a half. It's that type of roller coaster where there's the end of the line. You see the track is cut off, and you don't go over it, but you approach it very, very closely. And then right now, LvLup are playing the odds, and it is going to be pistols and Kevlar with a hero AK on shot. I'm eager to see what they do with that. It seems like another split, although into pop they go.
feel like I have a deja vu at the end.
Of Vertigo?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It does feel like it, doesn't it? At least a little bit.
It feels like composure is missing on left, right, and center. Drives me crazy. Drives me a good bit crazy.
Crazy. Well, I mean, I can't think of any reason besides the fact that they're arguing amongst each other how they should approach their rounds, how they maybe arguing still because of not necessarily Vertigo, but just generally speaking, how they lose a few rounds here and there and just tensions high. Obviously, this is running on national TV for the Serbian audience and the audience around the region. In this case, LvLup, there is pressure on them to perform, and it seems to me that they're letting it get to them.
Yep, absolutely agree on that.
For example, just to kind of point out what perhaps here could have been done very differently is that Molotov could have been thrown later. The execution is yet to come. It's yet to be prepared. The Molotov hit flew in within the next, let's say, 3 seconds as the execute is being prepared. Top to be out of place, top to be out of position in pop. When they're coming out of main, they have a clear sight of him. They have a clear sight of on care. That's 2 players they can potentially bring down before you even begin the proper execution. So really, that's just an example, right? What could be done. 40 seconds, LvLup. They need to go now. It's high time to start this execution, guys.
Yep.
No more time to waste.
Having the NAVI vibes here as it starts to rain on A. And Ankara is going to really have a festival up ahead of him. Has to return so, be the first one falling. Top of next up, no more than that happen.
Okay.
There, left, right, and center. Failure is coming in. Can they deny the plant? Nope, obviously not. Boost is happening over on connector. As they have to find those frags ASAP. Now Sereni's waiting behind the bomb train. Gaspadorov might have a problem being right inside anytime soon. That kill doesn't come for free. It has the same problem. Now also known, NAVI Jr. might just not get himself the round.
They will not. It comes as a bit of a surprise, I guess, in a way. We expected on care to hold the line a bit more clearly. And I actually didn't notice Topa pulled out a pop. So he got himself fully exposed, and the smoke, of course, preventing him from being able to help the rest of his teammates. But that's going to be 6 to LvLup, and they're doing a pretty good job. Like I said, 6 to 7 rounds would be the cherry on top for Train T side, and certainly if they're able to get this 8-7, even if in favor of NAVI Jr., I do believe they'll be content with that and happy.
Yeah, 9-6 should be possible. Pacho are very patient about that. They take a lot of aggressive room right now. They really want them to feel the pressure. It's a temporary thing though, because that utility will fade. Once that utility faded, Gasparov finds Dimke. Crucial utility, barring crucial piece of the puzzle taken out. In front of B now also fairly clear, and that should be the piece of information they have. Let's see what they make off of that. Because A side seems very lucrative for them. With the smokes thrown down, I think we've got an execution up our way.
Yes, we do. It is going to be holding the line with his own smoke and making sure Pop is uncontrollable, which is perfect. LvLup. They're coming in from a very single point of entry. And now they know, at least NAVI Jr. are aware where to handle this, although OnCare seems to be oblivious to it. What is going on with OnCare? Not the first time we're seeing him hiccup like that, and Bit as well, going to be caught. Wait a second. All of a sudden, the tables have turned once more as NAVI Jr., the reply is very meager in what we thought it'd be. Even then, not even a shadow of itself as Capacho. Yeah. Good night, buddy.
And as it's good night, Gaspadorov can try his best, but there he finds a second, a third. The man is hungry for more, and as he's desperately looking to get a bit more for himself, the magic stick might help him to do so, as he might just have the abracadabra all his way. On to Ivy. Finds another! Gospodarov is awake, and this man might be just a hero for the Navi Junior site. He has the wrong idea, though. He has the wrong understanding. Left check, he has to be done, but he hasn't even a kit. And that is it all done.
No time.
Such beautiful kills.
Yeah, it would have been truly a masterpiece if he had a kit and pulled off the ace. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as AVN is.
Друзья, вот и первая половина уже закончилась. Пожалуйста, подпишитесь на мой канал, поставьте лайк, пожалуйста. Огромное всем спасибо.
Round is not lost to a single player. Gospodarov, though, had definitely excelling and showing his prowess and skill in this case. We can see Sharani, he's quaking behind that corner, knowing that the op is hunting him down. And when leaving only AVN to survive, the tensions going ever higher for LvLup. But 8-7. It is a meaningful ending to the half. Navi Junior will be the ones to take it, but T side of theirs has always been a question. Let's see how well they perform here on the second half of Train, the last map of this best of 3. As the pistol, will it be taken yet by them again and make it up to 5-1 out of pistols themselves?
Good question. Unker and Cole definitely trying to make the most work out of it. As their utility comes, let's see how that one will end. B is going to be the objective. And back on the ground line, the flashbang comes in at the right time. Anker is blind, his teammate as well. D seemingly actually got team flashed by AVN, and that was a crucial aspect that could have gotten them a good bunch of free kills. Bomb's going to be planted. And that's a significant disadvantage now for LvLup.
Yes, indeed it is. Recall the first pistol that we saw. Navi Junior came in a 5-on-5 retake. They were able to get 2 frags before it came down to last few moments and last few members. But still, Sharani coming in hot. Dimka close range. It's going to be Dimka to find the entry. Sharani the second so far. They're doing a good job. Bit is able to keep a distance in a 3-on-3 with a flank set by Capacho. No, Capacho's been caught. The flank is gone, but it doesn't matter to Bit. He doesn't care one bit as he takes it away bit by bit. 9-7. Second pistol to Navi Junior as well. That is 5 out of 6 pistols to them.
You're into it, over. You are really going full speed on that.
I know. I had to make that joke. Oh, that pun. Or puns. I don't even know if it's plural puns. Yeah, I guess it's plural puns. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm sure Mitch would already be in the chat and complain.
Grammaring me.
Either way, again, a force coming in from LvLup could hypothetically fail miserably. Dimka definitely hates to see this, as the little $300 balls are taking a good bunch of damage off of him. Spit finds impulse, and AVN might have the same fate. Nope, it actually works quite well. There it is. For a second, I was a little bit wondering if he could get away with that, but nope. Navi Junior keep it in their hands and keep it all safe. Dimka waits for the right timing, but does he even dare to do so?
We're about to find out. Shot and he's positioned himself into a perfect spot. Though if he goes upper, see, the one thing I dislike about his positioning here is the fact that he's coming in very late. And yeah, Bit will check this, obviously, no doubt. So if he had stayed on site behind the coil right below heaven or upper, perhaps there would be a chance for him to get a drop of a player or two, and then we could see this play out a bit differently. But LvLup, the force buy does not succeed. As you said, the scary part here is the fact that they do invest everything into the round, and having lost the pistol, it brings them into a bit of a tough spot. It should be 11-7 before we continue on with the gun rounds for LvLup. Yet, even though the difference is minimal, of course, down to 4 rounds only. If they lose the gun round that is to come, that is where things really take a wild turn and the roller coaster ride actually begins, because then all of a sudden you're no longer facing just 11 rounds opposite or 4 rounds opposite, but most likely even, maybe 5-6 rounds where all of a sudden Navi Junior find themselves on the verge of picking up a potential series point. So there is a lot on the line for LvLup when it comes to the next gun round. Here, this is more of a free willy-nilly round where we should see them either stack up something and push, or just hope to get something done together.
Very much indeed. Amian is going to take the ballsy route. She finds Topa. There you go. Free AK. Oh, that's a nice gift. A bit surprising though, honestly. And as that works, I'm very concerned about the state of NAVI Junior and such things, because you see they overthink this a little bit. It seemingly is the case. Ivy, they have control off. Ankara, together with his teammate, might just go a little further towards A, but Sereni, his deagle could be the crucial aspect to this.
And with the scout having the cross here, yeah, Sharani might actually come into play with his deagle from pool. Especially if they forget to check a D. What a sick shot. That was beautiful to watch. And all of a sudden, LvLup, they might be able to pick up their 8th. I wouldn't doubt it here anymore, because NAVI Junior, as you said, they're a bit afraid. They're a bit stuck in their place. And Pacho gets one, sure. Shot, and he comes in from pool. You talked about it. He gets it. AVN another with the AK from Pop. And now Gospodarov. What the hell do you do here? 20 seconds at the build? Dream on, buddy. Dream on.
Well, dreaming is a thing. LvLup seems to make their dreams come true. The 8th round belongs to them. I'm a little bit surprised that it all initiated with that. You know, there's nothing else than a little lovely kill of the taser. Suddenly, it all becomes horribly sinister. You really hate to see that. The equipment from NAVI Junior, as they force themselves into the situation, also fairly limited. 3 smokes, that's alright. Ankara and Gospodarov, though, got nothing to offer at all. And so LvLup, I think we saw it a few times by now. Aggressive stance towards main.
As you say, the smokes are going to be a vital play here for NAVI Junior. They have to utilize them as best they can, limited as they are. It's a single chance they'll be given or taken by them. And if it had to be a gambling man, I'd say this is most likely a B attempt. LvLup, the 1-minute smoke timer for the first time down ramp. It's a classic timer that you usually abide by on the CT side. At the 1-minute mark, you deploy your first utility, smoke-wise. So there's a pro tip. If you're wasting utility too much, try to wait until the minute mark if you can. Impulse, great shot to be made. First one to bring down Gospodarov. The second to tag Bit. This is so far looking good. D.
They're all joining. Look at the damage they deal. This is not good at all. Bit most definitely falling down in this process. And we might have a tied-up situation coming our way, as the money from NAVI is down the drain. There's much to offer.
Getting halted in their approach a little bit, and NAVI Junior, of course the attempt made, perhaps not perfect, not pristine, but at least it was an attempt that, worthwhile mentioning, wasn't the worst of attempts. They go together, they failed. It happens. Something you have to take into account, that LvLup are not going to be an easy team to beat. Glocks only this time around, and they're going to group up and hit B. That much is clear. They're just possibly jumping from heaven. I wouldn't mind that at all. It's something we haven't seen in a while. Waterfall down A, or B, excuse me. It's a lovely little tactic that you can perhaps get the bomb plant with, especially when you jump out and you distract the first defender, AVN. Boston close. Does he prevent the plant? No, he does not.
That's nice money here they got from that round. A kill would be nice, but now ask for. Even Bit finds impulse. All right,
Hey.
that's not the worst of a round, considering it's an eco. Tied up, it's gonna be, and I mean, NAVI Junior really let a few rounds fade away. This one, obviously, not being the worst example, far away from that, as you really coming with an eco. We saw it a few times. They really let things slip away.
They do. They tend to perhaps forego their defaults in their go-to strats and tend to perhaps play a little bit more individualistically, hoping to secure a few free frags and such. Now, let's see how they handle themselves, given that there's no op for Gospodarov this time around. They know that there's a potential double up in play for LvLup, which has been in effect since Vertigo. And NAVI Junior right now, this is going to be a bit of a different approach. 3 players towards Ivy. I like the idea here. It definitely gives them a chance of a great deal of presence being put on towards the backlines of CT.
Yeah, very true.
So, what do they do with that?
It's a lot of noise they've made. NAVI definitely knows about this. There's not even a question. They know that they heard 1 or 2 players step in front of A main. Clear info. How well is Ivy then fortified? Good question. And they just try to abuse it. Impulse, though. That's a very similar position for the second time by now. Swapping up doesn't seem to be too mandatory, as he really holds them quite well from that position. So Rainy strikes again and again, and possibly a 3rd time if he feels like it. As Gospodarov is deep down in Ivy, he most likely won't stand a chance with those 40 seconds left.
I just noticed something very worrisome that I think NAVI Junior is either oblivious to, or they're not focusing hard enough on what the problem seems to be. Every single time we see them go through Ivy, there is either Impulse or D waiting at back 5 or somewhere towards 5, in between bomb train and number 5 train, which would be Silver in this case, where the angle is caught towards Ivy. And they seem to ignore that. And how you remedy it is just smoke right side and then push through deep lines. And all of a sudden you've just opened up a venue of attack that perhaps the LvLup won't be able to defend. But let's find out for ourselves. It is Pistols and Kevlar again here. NAVI Junior. They need to change the pace of the direction they're going. Otherwise, this could slip out of control, as you've said already. They have a tendency to kind of let themselves slip by a little bit, and it's definitely feeling like one of those again.
Yeah, it feels a lot like one of those. We're just waiting. We're just absolutely waiting for that strike to come in from NAVI Junior. I'm just hoping it comes in touch. You know, they seemingly miss out on opportunities again and again. Those shots are nice, but they're not that helpful.
They're not changing the outcome. They're not bringing about any major differences to LvLup or damaging the economy of LvLup. And like you said, the outcome is still the same in the end. 12-10. This is it. Now NAVI Junior find themselves on a bit of a precarious road. The harsh environment they find themselves on to be in a way of their own making even.
It's true. LvLup has a very aggressive style to their CTE performance. They really take every single open room you give them. In this case, main. Next up, Ivy, if you take a look at the minimap. BD left out of this, so what ABN can do about it. It's the first piece of legs and Molly's the connecting position.
Beautiful stuff.
Really solid stuff in this.
And the way LvLup handled that loss early on, you could see that they're not fazed by it too much. Now, of course, rotation come in a little bit quick almost there, but they've been able to step on the toes of each other and make sure that nobody gets too far away from the A side. And as you said, aggression is a key part of their defense. And, you know, there's a saying that the best defense is offense. And in this case, it's true because LvLup are given that room, are given that opportunity. And why wouldn't you take it if you can? You're winning duels anyway. You have superior weapons in certain regards, and you have AKs if nothing else.
True.
So taking main gives them so much information. It's crazy. But
Give me that.
NJ, they're going B.
They very much do. Now it's a question of what can they bring in as the opposition force. Sorini hopes to find anyone who's getting a little too exposed, but here comes the rotation from LvLup. 15 seconds spot away. Hardly any nades to throw in from the balcony side. But they don't need it. The flanks work. Last man standing is bit with a molly, yet with 16 HP. And that's hardly working. No smoke is a good point. He needs to take it out ASAP. Consider this man has a molly.
Ouch.
Impulse does it anyway.
Well, yeah, there was definitely a chance. There was definitely a scenario where I could see Bit win this round, just because if he gets Impulse, it's all of a sudden a 1v2, both players on the bomb, and there was about, let's say, 10 seconds off the clock of the bomb, maybe 15 at the max. So that gives them an additional, let's say, 15 seconds to snuff him out. If they don't, they're losing that round guaranteed. The Molotov would be flying in pretty soon after, and you can be damn sure they're not being able to use in that molly. In any case, LvLup 13-10. They succeed in picking up a vital round. They will be going up against another buy. And look at the setup they're doing on A. Very much passive in this instance. Looking for just a line of defense.
Looking fairly strong from LvLup. Oh. They don't leave any gaps in it, not at all. De-smoked off, could change the position in any favor, but rather goes for the boost. Sereni also coming in from behind. He's humiliating them with that. 14-10. That hurts to watch.
Well, NAVI Junior, they were stopped in their tracks. Perfect Molotov into Olaf, by the way, as we could see from LvLup. They mollied Sandwich first, then they mollied Olaf. And that forced NAVI Junior to be a bit slower in their approach through Olaf, through Sandwich, allowing, of course, Sharani to go for that flank, in fact. And in the end, the stars align. LvLup, they're getting away with it. And 14-10, it's the best case scenario you could have in this position, especially NAVI Junior. They're going to be going for a bit of a mid-buy or a mini-buy, and they're pushing straight B. I like this idea, although will it get them anything? That's a different kind of answer question, and at least the plan. That's the one thing they have going.
That's what Arfincope. It's quite great to find that one. As you know, bomb plant is all super nice, but oh, look at they're really putting themselves in one position. But Dimka knows how to reply to that. Capacho with the deagle gets Impulse with ease. 2 pistols, gotta make that work. We still don't see a molly, by the way. They're over. And Gospodarov does it again. Known he is. It's the time though, ticking away. You might have a kit, but you gotta do something. And there they go. That's enough, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. They have the kit, they have the time, and they have both ops saved as well. Series point! Oh my, LvLup. They're pulling it, bro. They're pulling it back. I mean, they could have done it already on Vertigo. They certainly had the opportunity, but it seems like they'll be rather taking it here on Train, and with good reason. 10-15. 5 in a row is what NAVI Junior require. Would not be impossible to pull it off, and certainly isn't yet. The way it's all been going, the way LvLup have shaped up, there is doubt in my mind for that.
There's that. Same. It seems like they really couldn't get on track recently.
Yeah.
Look, but there could be a punishment coming our way. Look at Ivy.
Oh yeah.
So Impulse getting it.
Speaking.
Shouldn't have said it.
D.
This hurts to watch over. Because it's once more this back and forth and Rainy.
Oh.
That's the punishment. And the bomb making its way over to B. D's op just has to hit that one shot.
And look at D's position right now. The worst part, I guarantee you NAVI Junior is not expecting this. If they were, they would molly up her brown holes. Instead, they want to make it quiet and they want to approach this as safe as they can. If they check the corner, they check the corner, but they are not ready for it. Like I said, and D drops the ball as Capacho is now out of it on care. 1v3, this is it. It's going to have to be a hat trick. He needs to score the goal 3 times in a row. And he's already been locked in place from the back. Connector is locked out as well. His only hope is to go through CT if he wants to go A. Oh, the angle. Shot, and he does not expect it. Fair enough. Gonna be back to a 2-on-1.
It's just right now really playing it about to playing it together.
Absolutely.
And if they fight the right timing, they do. Story told. LvLup picked the 16th round. Next match for NAVI is elimination. LvLup buy an extra life in that. This is...
Нам игра вот там, друзья, вот такая вот произошла хуйня, к сожалению, NAVI Junior проиграли, ну, что поделаешь, всем нам не повезло, но всем спасибо за просмотр, спасибо за лайки, спасибо за сабы. Я, конечно же, был за NAVI Junior, болел, но вот так вот произошло всегда. Не всегда нам побеждать. Все, всем спасибо.
Yeah, it's honestly, if we go over that demo, we can definitely say and have the tell where